Good evening. We, the Zoom players hailing from such lands as New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and California, present to you William Shakespeare's Love's Labour's Lost. Act 1, Scene 1. The King of Navarre's Park. Enter Ferdinand, King of Navarre, Biron, Longaville, and Dumain.
Let fame that all hunt after in their lives live registered upon our brazen tombs, and then grace us in the disgrace of death. When, spite of cormorant devouring time, the endeavor of this present breath may that honor which shall bait his scythe's keen edge, and make us all heirs of eternity. Therefore, brave conquerors, for so you are, that war against your own afflictions and the huge army of the world's desires, our late edict shall strongly stand in force. Navarre shall be a wonder of the world. Our court shall be a little academy, still and contemplative in living art. You three, Biron, Dumain, Longaville, have sworn for 3 years' term to live with me, my fellow scholars, and keep to these studies that are recorded on this schedule here. Your oaths are passed, and now subscribe your names, that his own hand may strike his honor down that violates the smallest branch therein. If you are armed to do as you are sworn to do, subscribe to your deep oaths and keep it too.
I am resolved. 'Tis but a 3 years' fast. The mind shall banquet, though the body pine. Fat punches have lean pates, and dainty bits make rich the ribs, but bankrupt quite the wits.
My loving lord, Dumain is mortified. The grosser manner of these world's delights he throws upon the gross world's baser slaves. To love, to wealth, to pomp, I pine and die, with all these living in philosophy.
I can but say their protestation over. So much, dear liege, I have already sworn. That is, to live and study here 3 years. But there are other strict observances, as not to see a woman in that term, which I hope well is not enrolled there, and 1 day in a week to touch no food, and but 1 meal on every day beside, to which I hope is not enrolled there, and then to sleep but 3 hours a night, and not be seen to wink in all the day. And when I was wont to think no harm all night, and make dark night too of half the day, which I hope well is not enrolled there. These are barren tasks, too hard to keep. Not to see the ladies, study, fast, not sleep.
James?
Oh, I thought Z. Okay, sorry. Your oath is passed to pass away from these.
Let me say no, my liege, as if you please. I only swore to study with your grace, and stay here in your court for 3 years' space.
You swore to that, Biron, and to the rest.
By yea and nay, sir, then I swore in jest. What is the end of study? Let me know.
Why, that to know, or what else should we not know?
Things hidden barred, you mean, from common sense?
Aye, that is study's godlike recompense.
Come on, then, I will swear to study so, to think the thing I am forbid to know, as thus, to study where I well may dine, when I to feast expressly am forbid, or study where to meet some mistress fine, when mistresses from common sense are hid, or having sworn too hard at keeping oath, study to break it and not break my troth. If study's gain be thus and this be so, study knows that which yet it doth not know. Swear me to this, and I will ne'er say no.
There be the stops that hinder study quite and train our intellects to vain delight.
Why, all delights are in vain, but that most vain, which the pain purchased doth inherit pain. As painfully to pore upon a book, to seek the light of truth, while truth the while doth falsely blind the eyesight of his look. Light seeking light doth light of light beguile. So ere you find where light and darkness lies, your light grows dark by losing of your eyes. Study me how to please the eye indeed, by fixing it upon a fairer eye, who, dazzling so, that eye shall be his heed. and give him light that it was blinded by. Study is like the heavens' glorious sun, that will not be deep searched with saucy looks. Small have continual plotters ever won, save base authority from others' books. These earthly godfathers of heaven's lights, that give a name to every fixed star, have no more profit in their shining nights than those that walk and wot not what they are. Too much to know is to know naught but fame, and every godfather can give a name.
How well he's read to reason against reading.
Proceeded well to stop all good proceeding.
He weeds the corn and still lets grow the weeding.
The spring is near when green geese are a-breeding.
How follows that?
Fit in its place and time.
In reason, nothing.
Something then in rhyme.
Biron is like an envious sneaping frost that bites the firstborn infants of the spring.
Well, say I am. Why should proud summer boast, before the birds have any cause to sing? Why should I joy in any abortive birth? At Christmas, I no more desire a rose, than wish a snow in May's newfangled mirth. But like of each thing that in season grows, so you to study now is too late. Climb o'er the house to unlock the little gate.
Well, sit you out. Go home, Biron. Adieu.
No, my good lord, I have sworn to stay with you. And though I have for barbarism spoke more than for the angel knowledge you can say, yet confident I'll keep what I have swore, and bide the penance of each 3 years' day. Give me the paper, let me read the same, and to the strictest decrees I will write my name.
How well this yielding recuses thee from shame.
Item, that women shall come within a mile of my court. Hath this been proclaimed?
4 days ago.
Let's see the penalty. On pain of losing her tongue, who devised this penalty?
Marry, that did I.
Sweet lord, and why?
To fright them hence with that dread penalty.
A dangerous law against gentility. Item, if any man be seen to talk with a woman within the term of 3 years, he shall endure such public shame as the rest of the court can possibly devise. This article, my liege, yourself must break, for while you know here comes an embassy, the French king's daughter with yourself to speak, a maid of grace and complete majesty, about surrender up of Aquitaine to her decrepit, sick, and bedrid father. Therefore, this article is made in vain, or vainly comes the admired princess hither.
What say your lords? Why, this is quite forgot.
So, excuse me. So study evermore is shot. While it does study to have what it would, it doth forget to do a thing it should. And when it hath the thing it hunteth most, 'tis one as towns with fire, so won, so lost.
We must of force dispense with this decree. She must lie here on mere necessity.
Necessity will make us all forsworn, 3,000 times within the 3 years' space. For every man with his affects is born, not by might mastered, but by special grace. If I break faith, this word shall speak of me. I am forsworn on mere necessity. So to the laws at large, I write my name. And he that breaks them in the least degree stands in attainder of eternal shame. Suggestions are to others as to me, but I believe, as though I am so loath, I am the last that will keep his oath. But is there no quick recreation granted?
Aye, that there is. Our court, you know, is haunted with a refined traveler from Spain, a man in all the world's new fashion planted, that hath a mint of phrases in his brain, one whom the music of his own vain tongue doth ravish like enchanting harmony, a man of compliments, whom right and wrong have chose as umpire of their mutiny, this child of fancy, that Armando hight, for in turn to our studies shall relate in high-born words the worth of many a night, from tawny Spain lost in the world's debate. How you delight, my lords, I know not. But I protest, I love to hear him lie, and will use him in my minstrelsy.
Armando is a most illustrious wight. A man of fire new words, fashion's own knight.
Costard the swain, and he shall be our sport, and so to study. 3 years is but short.
Enter Dull with a letter, and Costard.
Which is the Duke's own person?
This fellow, what wouldst?
I myself reprehend his own person, for I am his Grace's Tharborough, but I would see his own person in flesh and blood.
This is he.
Signor Armny commends you. There's villainy abroad. This letter will tell you more.
The contempts thereof are as touching me.
A letter from the magnificent Armando.
How low soever the matter, I hope in God for high words.
A high hope for a low heaven. God grant us patience.
To hear, or forbear laughing?
To hear meekly, sir, and to laugh moderately, or to forbear both.
Well, sir, be it as the style shall give us cause to climb in the merriness.
The matter is to me, sir, as concerning Jaquinetta. The matter of it is, I was taken with the matter.
In what manner?
In manner and form following, sir. All those three. I was seen with her in the manor house, sitting with her upon the form, and taken following her into the park, which put together is in manner and form following. Now, sir, for the manner, it is the manner of a man to speak to a woman, for the form in some form.
For the following, sir?
As it shall follow my correction, and God defend the right.
Will you hear this letter with attention?
As we would hear an oracle.
Such is the simplicity of man to hearken after the flesh.
Great deputy, the welcomes Vice Gurnet and sole dominator of Never, and my soul's good God and my body's fostering patron.
Not a word of Costard yet.
So it is.
It may be so, but if it says is so, he is in telling true, but so.
Peace.
Be to me and every man that does not fight.
No words.
Of other men's secret, I beseech you.
So it is. Besieged with sable-colored melancholy, I did command the black oppressing humor to the most wholesome physique of thy health-giving air, and, as I am a gentleman, I took myself to walk. The time when, about 6 hour, when beast most graze, birds best peck, and men sit down to that nourishment which is called supper. So much for the time when. Now for the ground which I mean I walked upon. It is eclipsed thy park. Then for the place where I mean I did encounter that obscene, preposterous event that draws from my snow-white pen and ebon-colored ink, which here thou viewest, beholdest, surveyest, or seest. But to the place where it standeth north, northeast, and by east from the west corner of thy curious knotted garden. There did I see that low-spirited swain, that base minnow of thy mirth.
Me?
That unlettered small knowing soul.
Me?
That shallow vassal.
Still me?
Which, as I remember, hight Costard.
Oh, me.
Sorted and consorted, contrary to thy established proclaimed edict and constant canon, with which, but with this I passion to say wherewith.
With a wench.
With a child of our grandmother Eve, a female, or for thy more sweet understanding, a woman. Him I, as my ever-esteemed duty pricks me on, has sent me to thee, to receive the meed of punishment, but by thy grace offer Anthony Dull, a man of good repute, carriage, bearing, and estimation.
The aunt shall please you. I am Anthony Dahl.
For Jaquinta, so is the weaker vessel called which I apprehended with the aforesaid swain. I keep her as a vassal of the law's fury, and shall at the last of thy sweet notice bring her to trial. Thine and all compliments of devoted and heart-burning heat of duty. Don Armando de Armando.
This is not so well as I looked for, but the best that ever I heard.
Aye, the best for the worst. But, sirrah, what say you to this?
Sir, I confess the wench.
Do you hear the did you hear the proclamation?
I do confess much of the hearing, but little of the marking of it.
It was proclaimed a year's imprisonment to be taken with a wench.
I was taken with none, sir.
Well, it was proclaimed damsel.
This was no damsel, neither, sir. She was a virgin.
It is so varied too, for it was proclaimed virgin.
If I deny her virginity, I was taken with a maid.
This maid will not serve your turn, sir.
This maid will serve my turn, sir.
Sir, I will pronounce your sentence. You shall fast a week with bran and water.
I'd rather pray a month with mutton and porridge.
And Don Armando shall be your keeper, my Lord Biron. See him delivered, or, as we go, lords, we put in practice that which to each other hath strongly sworn.
Exeunt Ferdinand, Longaville, and Dumain.
I'll lay my head to any good man's hat. These oaths and laws will prove an idle scorn. Sirrah, come on.
I suffer for the truth, sir, for true it is, I was taken with Jaquinetta, and Jaquinetta is a true girl, and therefore welcome the sour cup of prosperity. Affliction may one day smile again, and till then sit thee down, sorrow.
Exeunt. Scene 2, the same. Enter Don Adriano de Armado and Moth.
Boy, what sign is it when a man of great spirit grows melancholy?
A great sign, sir, that he will look sad.
Why, sadness is one and the same thing, dear imp.
No, no, Lord, sir, no.
How canst thou part sadness and melancholy, my tender juvenile?
By a familiar demonstration of the working, my tough signor.
Why tough signor? Why tough signor?
Why tender juvenile? Why tender juvenile?
I spoke it, tender juvenile, as a congruent epithon appertaining to thy young days, which we may nominate tender.
And I, tough signor, as an appurtenant title to your old time, which we may name tough.
Pretty and apt.
How mean you, sir? I pretty in my saying apt, or I apt in my saying pretty?
Thou pretty because little.
Little pretty because little, wherefore apt.
And therefore apt because quick.
Speak you this in my praise, master?
In thy condign praise.
I will praise an eel with the same praise.
What? That an eel is ingenious?
That an eel is quick.
I do say thou art quick in answers. Thou heatest my blood.
I am answered, sir.
I love not to be crossed.
He speaks the mere contrary, crosses love, not him.
I have promised to study 3 years with the Duke.
You may do it in an hour, sir.
Impossible.
How many is one thrice told?
I am ill at reckoning. It fitteth the spirit of a tapster.
You are a gentleman and a gamester, sir.
I confess both. They are both the varnish of a complete man.
Then I am sure you know how much the gross sum of deuce ace amounts to.
It doth amount to 1 more than 2.
Which the base vulgar do call 3.
Is la verdad, huh?
Why, sir, is this such a piece of study? Now here is 3 studied, ere ye'll thrice wink. And how easy is it to put years to the word 3, and study 3 years in 2 words? The dancing horse will tell you.
Most fine figure.
To prove you a cipher.
I will hereupon confess I am in love. And as it is base for a soldier to love us, so am I in love with a base wench. If drawing my sword against the humor of affection would deliver me from the reprobate thought of it, I would take the desire prisoner and ransom him to any French courtier for a new devised courtesy. I think to scorn to sigh. Methinks I should outswear Cupid. Comfort me, boy. What great men there have been in love?
Hercules, master.
Oh, most sweet Hercules. More authority, dear boy. Name more. And, sweet my child, let them be men of good repute and carriage.
Samson, master, he was a man of good carriage, great carriage, for he carried the town gates on his back like a porter, and he was in love.
Oh, well knit Samson. Strong jointed Samson, I do excel thee in my rapier as much as thou didst me in carrying gates. I am in love too. Who was Samson's lover, my dear Moth?
A woman, master.
Of what complexion?
Of all the 4, or the 3, or the 2, or one of the 4.
Tell me precisely of what complexion.
Of the seawater green, sir.
Is that one of the 4 complexions?
As I have read, sir, and the best of them too.
Green indeed is the color of lovers. But to have a love of that color, methinks Samson had small reason for it. He surely affected her for her wit.
It was so, sir, for she had a green wit.
My love is the most immaculate white and red.
Most immaculate thoughts, master, are masked under such colors.
Define, well-educated infant.
My father's wit and my mother's tongue assist me.
Sweet invocation of a child, most pretty and pathetical.
If she be made of white and red, her faults were ne'er be known. From blushing cheeks by faults are bred, and fears by pale white shown. That if she fear or be to blame, by this ye shall not know. For still her cheeks possess the same, which native doth she owe, a dangerous rhyme, master, against the reason of white and red.
Is there not a ballad, boy, of the king and the beggar?
The world was very guilty of such a ballad some 3 ages since, but I think now 'tis not to be found, or if it were, it would neither serve for the writing nor the tune.
I will have that subject newly writ, or that I may example my digression by some mighty precedent. Boy, I do love that country girl that I took in the park with a rational hind Costard. She deserves well.
To be whipped and yet a better love than my master.
Sing, boy. My spirit grows heavy in love.
And that's great marvel, loving a light wench.
I say sing.
Forbear till this company be past.
Enter Dull, Costard, and Jacquinetta.
Sir, the Duke's pleasure is that you keep Costard safe, and you must suffer him to take no delight nor no penitence. But I must fast 3 days a week. For this damsel I must keep her at the park. She is allowed for the day, woman. Fare you well.
I do betray myself with blushing, maid.
Man,
I will visit thee at the lodge.
that's hereby.
I know where it is situate.
Lord, how wise you are.
I will tell thee wonders.
With that face,
I love thee.
so I heard you say,
And so, farewell.
fair weather after you.
Come, Jacquinetta, away.
Exeunt Don, Dull, and Jacquinetta.
Villain, thou shalt fast for thy offences ere thou be pardoned.
Well, sir, I hope when I do it, I shall do it on a full stomach.
Thou shalt be heavily punished.
I am more bound to you than your fellows, for they are but lightly rewarded.
Take away this villain, shut him up.
Come, you transgressing slave, away.
Let me not be pent up, sir. I will fast being loose.
No, sir, that were fast and loosed, thou shalt to prison.
Well, if I do see the merry days of desolation that I have seen, some shall see.
What shall some see?
Nay, nothing, Master Moth, but what they look upon, it is not for prisoners to be too silent in their words, and therefore I will say nothing. I thank God I have as little patience as another man, and therefore I can be quiet.
Exeunt Moth and Costard.
I do affect the very ground, which is base, to wear her shoe, which is base, guided by her foot, which is base as doth tread. I shall be forsworn, which is a great argument of falsehood if I love. And how can that be true love which is falsely attempted? Love is a familiar, love is a devil. There is no evil angel but love. Yet was Samson so tempted, and he had an excellent strength, yet was Solomon so seduced, and he had a very good wit. Cupid's butt shaft is too hard for Hercules' club, and therefore too much odds for a Spaniard's rapier. The first and the second cause will not serve my turn. The passado he respects not, the duello he regards not. His disgrace is to be called boy, but his glory is to subdue men. Adieu, valor, rust rapier, be still drum, for your manager is in love. Yea, he loveth. Assist me some extemporal god of rhyme, for I am sure I turn sonnet. Devise wit, write pen, for I am for whole volumes in folio.
Exit. End Act 1. Act 2. The same. Enter the Princess of France, Rosaline, Maria, Katharine, Boyet, lords, and other attendants.
Now, madam, summon up your dearest spirits. Consider who the king your father sends, to whom he sends, and what's his embassy. Yourself, held precious in the world's esteem, to parley with the sole inheritor of all perfections that a man may owe, matchless Navarre. The plea of no less weight than Aquitaine, a dowry for a queen. Be now as prodigal of all dear grace as nature was in making graces dear, when she did starve the general world beside, and prodigally gave them all to you.
Good Lord Boyet, my beauty, though be mean, needs not the painted flourish of your praise. Not uttered by base sale of chapmen's tongues, I am less proud to hear you tell my worth, than you must much be willing to count it wise. In pleasing your wit to praise of mine, but now to task the tasker. Good Boyet, you are not ignorant, all telling fame doth noise abroad. Navarre hath made a vow, 'tis painful study shall outwear 3 years. No woman may approach his silent court, therefore to seemeth in a needful course, before we enter his forbidden gates, to know his pleasure, and in that behalf, bold of your worthiness, we single you as our best moving fair solicitor. Tell him, the daughter of the King of France, on serious business, craving quick dispatch, importunes personal conference with his grace. Haste, signify so much, while we attend, like humble-visaged suitors, his high will.
Proud of employment, willingly I go.
All pride is willingly pride, and yours is so.
Exit Boyet.
Who are the votaries, my loving lords, that are vow fellows with this virtuous duke?
Lord Longaville is one.
Know you the man?
I know him, madame. At a marriage feast between Lord Perigord and the beauteous heir of Jacques Valkenbridge, solemnized in Normandy, saw I this Longaville. A man of sovereign parts, he is esteemed. Fitted in arts, glorious in arms. Fame becomes him ill that he would well. The only soil of his fair virtue's gloss, if virtue's gloss will stain with any soil, is a sharp wit matched with too blunt a will, whose edge hath power to cut, whose will still wills, it should none spare to come within his power.
Some merry mocking lord, belike, is so?
They say so most, that most his humorous know.
Such short-lived wits do wither as they grow. Who are the rest?
The young Dumain, a well-accomplished youth, of all that virtue love, of for virtue loved, most power to do most harm, least knowing ill. For he hath wit to make an ill shape good, and shape to win grace, though he had no wit. I saw him at the Duke Alencon's once, and much too little of that good I saw, is my report to his great worthiness.
Another of these students at that time was there with him, if I have heard a truth. Biron they call him, but a merrier man within the limit of becoming mirth. I never spent an hour's talk withal. His eye begets occasion for his wit. For every object that one doth catch, the other turns to a mirth moving jest, which his fair tongue conceits expositor, and delivers in such apt and gracious words that aged ears play truant at his tales, and younger hearings are quite ravished. So sweet and voluble is his discourse.
Oh, God bless my ladies. They are all in love, that every one her hath garnished, but with such bedecking ornaments of praise.
Here comes Boyet.
Re-enter Boyet.
Now what admittance, Lord?
Navarre had notice of your fair approach, and he and his competitors in oath were all addressed to meet you, gentle lady, before I came. Mary, thus much I have learnt. He rather means to lodge you in the field, like one that comes here to besiege his court, than seek a dispensation for his oath, to let you enter his unpeopled house. Here comes Navarre.
Enter Ferdinand, Longaville, Dumain, Biron, and attendants.
Fair princess, welcome to the court of Navarre.
Fair? I give you back again, and welcome? I have not yet. The roof of this court is too high to be yours, and welcome to the wide fields too base to be mine.
You shall be welcome, madam, to my court.
I will be welcome then. Conduct me thither.
Hear me, dear lady, I have sworn an oath.
Oh, lady, help my lord, he'll be forsworn.
Not for the world, fair madam, by my will.
Why, will shall break it, and will and nothing else.
Your lady is ignorant what it is.
Were my lord so, his ignorance were wise. Where now his knowledge must prove ignorance, I hear your grace hath sworn out housekeeping. 'Tis deadly sin to keep out that oath, my lord, and sin to break it. But pardon me, I am too sudden bold. To teach a teacher ill beseemeth me. Vouchsafe to read the purpose for my coming, and suddenly resolve me in my suit.
Madam, I will, if suddenly I may.
You will the sooner that I were away, for you'll prove perjured if you make me stay.
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
Did I not dance with you in Brabant once?
I know you did.
How needless was it then to ask the question?
You must not be so quick.
'Tis long of you that spur me with such questions.
Your wit's too hot, it speeds too fast, 'twill tire.
Not till it leave the writer in the mire.
What time of day?
The hour that fools should ask.
Now fair befall your mask.
Fair fall the face it covers.
And send you many lovers.
Amen, so you be none.
Nay, then will I be gone.
Madam, your father here doth intimate the payment of 100,000 crowns, being but the 1/2 of an entire sum dispersed by my father in his wars. But say that he or we, as neither have, received that sum, there yet remains unpaid 100,000 more, in surety of which one part of Aquitaine is bound to us, although not valued to the money's worth. But then the king, your father, will restore but that 1/2 which is unsatisfied. We will give up our right in Aquitaine and hold fair friendship with his majesty. But that, it seems, he little purposeth. For here he doth demand to have repaid 100,000 crowns, and not demands, on payment of 100,000 crowns, to have his title live in Aquitaine, which is, we much rather had depart with all and have the money by our father lent. Then Aquitaine so gilded as it is. Dear princess, we're not his request so far from reason yielding. Your fair self should make a yielding against some reason in my breast, and will go satisfied to France again.
You do the king, my father, too much wrong, and wrong the reputation of your name, in so unseeming to confess receipt of that which has so faithfully been paid.
I do protest, I never heard of it, and if you prove it, we'll repay it back or yield up Aquitaine.
We arrest your word. Boyet, you can produce acquaintances for such a sum from special offices of Charles his father.
Satisfy me so.
So pleased, your grace, the packet is not come where that and other specialties are bound. Tomorrow you shall have a sight of them.
It shall suffice me, at which interview all liberal reason I will yield unto. Meantime, receive such welcome as my hand, as honor without breach of honor may make to tender of thy true worthiness. You may not come, fair princess, in my gates, but here without you shall be so received as you shall deem yourself lodged in my heart. Though so denied fair harbor in my house, your good thoughts excuse me, and farewell. Tomorrow we shall visit you again.
Sweet health and fair desires consort your grace.
Thine own wish I thee in every place.
Exit.
Lady, I will commend you to mine own heart.
Pray you, do not do my commendations. I would be glad to see it.
I would you heard it groan.
Is the fool sick?
Sick at the heart.
Alack, let it blood.
Would that do it good?
My physic says I.
Will you prick it with your eye?
No point with my knife.
Now, God save thy life.
And yours for long living.
I cannot stay. Thanksgiving.
Retiring.
Sir, I pray you, a word. What lady is that same?
The heir of Alençon, Katharine her name.
A gallant lady. Monsieur, fare you well.
Exit.
I beseech you a word. What is she in the white?
A woman sometimes, and you saw her in the light.
Perchance light in the light. I desire her name.
She hath but one for herself. To desire that were a shame.
Pray you, sir, whose daughter?
Her mother's, I have heard.
God's blessing on your beard.
Good sir, be not offended. She is an heir of Falconbridge.
Nay, my choler is ended. She is a most sweet lady.
Not unlike, sir, that may be.
Exit Longaville.
What's her name in the cap?
Rosaline, by good hap.
Is she wedded or no?
To her will, sir, or so.
You are welcome, sir. Adieu.
Farewell to me, sir, and welcome to you.
Exit Biron.
The last is Biron, the merry madcap lord. Not a word with him but a jest.
In every jest but a word.
It was well done of you to take him at his word.
I was as willing to grapple as he was to board.
2 hot sheeps, marry.
And wherefore not ships? No sheep, sweet lamb, unless we feed on your lips.
You sheep and I pasture. Shall that finish the jest?
So you grant pasture for me.
Offering to kiss her.
Not so, gentle beast. My lips are no common, though several they be.
Belonging to whom?
To my fortunes and me.
Oh, good wits be jangling, but gentles agree. This civil war of wits were much better used on the Vare and bookmen, for here 'tis abused.
My observation, which seldom lies, by the heart still rhetoric disclosed with eyes, deceive me not now. Navarre is infected.
With what?
With that which we lovers entitle affected.
Your reason?
Why, all his behaviors did make there retire to the court of his eye, peeping thorough desire. His heart, like an agate, with your print impressed, proud with his form, in his eye pride expressed. His tongue, all impatient to speak and not see, did stumble with haste in his eyesight to be. All senses to that sense did make their repair, to feel only looking on fairest of fair. Methought all his senses were locked in his eye, as jewels in crystal for some prince to buy, who, tendering their own worth from where they were glassed, did point you to buy them along as you passed. His face's own margent did quote such amazes that all eyes saw his eyes enchanted with gazes. I'll give you Aquiton and all that is his, and you give him for my sake but one loving kiss.
Come to our pavilion. Boyet is disposed.
But to speak that in words which his eye hath disclosed, I only have made a mouth of his eye, by adding a tongue which I know will not lie.
Thou art an old love-monger and speakest skillfully.
He is Cupid's grandfather and learned news of him.
Then was Venus like her mother, for her father is but grim.
Do you hear, my mad wenches?
No.
What then do you see?
Aye, our way to be gone.
You are too hard for me.
Exeunt. End of Act 2. Act 3, the same. Enter Don Adriano de Armado and Moth.
Warble, child, make passionate my sense of hearing.
Con Colonel. One morning in May, I spied a young couple, they were making their way. One was a maiden, so bright and so fair, and the other was a soldier in a brave volunteer. Oh soldier, kind soldier, will you marry me? Oh no, pretty maiden, that never shall be. I've a wife now in London and children twice 3, 2 wives and the army's too many for me.
Sweet air, gold tenderness of years, take this key, give enlargement to the swain, bring him fistently hither. I must employ him in a letter to my love.
Master, will you win your love with a French brawl?
How meanest thou? Brawling in French?
No, my complete master, but to jig off a tune at the tongue's end, canary to it with your feet, humor it with turning up your eyelids, sigh a note and sing a note, sometime through the throat, as if you swallowed love with singing love, sometime through the nose, as if you snuffed up love by smelling love, with your hat penthouse-like over the shop of your eyes, with your arms crossed over your thin belly doublet like a rabbit on a spit, or your hands in your pocket like a man after the old painting, and keep not too long on one tune, but a snipping away. These are compliments, these are humors, these betray nice wenches that would be betrayed without these, and make them men of note. Do you note me? That most are affected to these.
How hast thou purchased this experience?
By my penny of observation.
Bateau!
The hobby horses forgot.
Callest thou my love hobby horse?
No, master, the hobby horse is but a colt, and your love, perhaps, a hackney. But have you forgot your love?
Almost I had.
Negligent student, learn her by heart.
By heart and in heart, boy.
And out of heart, master, all those 3 I will prove.
What wilt thou prove?
A man, if I live in this by in and without upon the instant, by heart you love her, because your heart cannot come by her. In heart you love her, because your heart is in love with her. And out of heart you love her, being out of heart that you cannot enjoy her.
I am all these 3.
And 3 times as much more, and yet nothing at all.
Fetch hither the swain, he must carry me a letter.
A message well sympathized, a horse to be ambassador for an ass.
What sayest thou?
Marry, sir, you must send the ass upon the horse, for he is very slow-gated. But I go.
The way is short. Away.
As swift as lead, sir.
The meaning? Pretty ingenious. Is not lead a metal heavy, dull, and slow?
Minimi, honest master, or rather, master, no.
I say lead is slow.
You are too swift, sir, to say so. Is that lead slow, which is fired from a gun?
Sweet smoke of rhetoric. He reputes me a cannon, and the bullet, that's he. I shoot thee at the swing. Pew!
Thump then, and I flee.
Exit.
A most acute juvenile, voluble and free of grace. By thy favor, sweet welkin, I must sigh in thy face. Most rude melancholy, valor gives thee place. My herald is returned.
Re-enter Moth and Costard.
A wonder, master. Here's a costard broken in a shin.
Some enigma, some riddle. Come, thy envoy, let begin.
No enigma, no riddle, no l'envoy, no salve in the mail, sir. Oh, sir, plantain, a plain plantain. No l'envoy, no l'envoy, no salve, sir, but a plantain.
By virtue, thou enforces laughter. Thy silly thought my spleen, the heaving of my lungs provokes me to ridiculous smiling. Oh, pardon me, my stars. Doth the inconsiderate take salve for l'envoy and the word l'envoy for a salve?
Do the wise think them other? Is not l'envoy a salve?
Oh, no, page. It is an epilogue or discourse to make plain some obscure precedents that have tofore been sane. I will example it. The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds, being but three. There is the moral, now the envoy.
I will add the l'envoy. Say the moral again.
The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds, but being three.
Until the goose came out of door and stayed the odds by adding 4. Now will I begin your moral, and do you follow with my l'envoy. The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds, being but 3.
Until the goose came out of door, staying the odds by adding 4.
A good l'envoy ending in the goose. Would you desire more?
The boy hath sold him a bargain, a goose that's flat. Sir, your pennyworth is good and your goose be fat. To sell a bargain well is cunning as fast and loose. Let me see a fat l'envoy, eh? Aye, that's a fat goose.
Come hither, come hither. How did this argument begin?
By saying that a costard was broken in a shin, then called you for the l'envoy.
True, and I for a plantain. Thus came your argument in. Then the boy's fat l'envoy, the goose that you bought, and he ended the market.
But tell me, how was there a costard broken in the shin?
I will tell you sensibly.
Thou hast no feeling of it at Moth. I will speak that l'envoy. I, costard running out, that was safely within, fell over the threshold and broke my shin.
We will talk no more of this matter.
Till there be more matter in the shin.
Sirrah Costard, I will enfranchise thee.
Oh, marry me to one Francis. I smell some l'envoy, some goose in this.
By my sweet soul, I mean setting thee at liberty. In freedoming thy person, thou wert immured, restrained, captivated, bound.
True, and now you will be my purgation and let me loose.
I give thee thy liberty, set thee from durance, and in lieu thereof, impose on thee nothing but this. Bear this significant.
Giving a letter.
To a country maid Jaquinetta, there is remuneration for the best ward of mine. Honor is rewarding my dependents. Moth follow.
Exit.
Like the sequel I, Senor Costard, adieu.
My sweet ounce of man's flesh, my icony Jew.
Exit Moth.
Now I will look to his remuneration. Remuneration. Oh, that's the Latin word for 3 farthings. 3 farthings. Remuneration. What's this price of this inkle? 1 penny. No, I'll give you a remuneration. Why, it carries it. Remuneration. Why, it's a fairer name than a French crown. I will never buy and sell out this word.
Enter Biron.
Oh, my good knave Costard, exceedingly well met.
Pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon may a man buy for a remuneration?
What is a remuneration?
Marry, sir, halfpenny farthing.
Why then, 3 farthing worth of silk.
Thank your worship. God be with you.
Stay, slave, I must employ thee. As thou wilt win my favor, my good my knave, do one thing for me that I shall entreat.
When would you have it done, sir?
This afternoon.
Well, I will do it, sir. Fare you well.
Thou knowest not what it is.
I shall know, sir, when I have done it.
Why, villain, thou must know first.
I will come to your worship tomorrow morning.
It must be done this afternoon. Hark, slave, it is but this. The princess comes to hunt here in the park, and in her train there is a gentle lady. When tongues speak sweetly, then they name her name. And Rosaline, they will call her. Ask for her. And to her white hand, see, thou do commend the sealed up counsel. There's thy guerdon go.
Giving him a shilling.
Gardon, oh, sweet Gardon, better than remuneration, 11 pence farthing better. Oh, sweet Gardon, I would do it, sir, in print. Gardon, remuneration.
Exit.
And I, forsooth in love, I that have been love's whip, a very beetle to an humorous sigh, a critic, nay, a night watch constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy, than whom no moral so magnificent, this whippled, whining, pure-blood, wayward boy, this senior, junior, giant dwarf, Don Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed sovereign, lost my place, sorry. The anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, dread prince of plackets, king of cod pieces, sole imperator of the great general of trotting preparators. Oh, my little heart! And I, to be so corporal of this field, and wear his colors like a tumbler's hoop. What, I love, I sue, I seek a wife? A woman that is like a German clock, still repairing, ever out of frame, and never going aright, being a watch? But being watched, that it may still go right, nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all. And among 3, to love the worst of all, a whitely wanton with a velvet brow, with 2 pitch balls stuck in her face for her eyes. Aye, and by heaven, one that will do the deed, though Argus were her eunuch and her guard, and I to see her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to, it is the plague that Cupid will impose on my neglect. Of his almighty dreadful little might, will I will love, write, sigh, pray, sue, and groan. Some men must love my lady, and some Joan.
Exit. End of Act 3. Act 4. Scene 1, the same. Enter the princess and her train, a Forrester, Boyet, Rosaline, Maria, and Katharine.
Was that the king that spurred his horse so hard against the steep unrising of the hill?
I know not, but I think it was not he.
Where it was, showed a mountain mind. Well, lords, today we shall have our dispatch. On Saturday we will return to France. Then, Forrester, my friend, where is the bush that we must stand and play the murderer in?
You're back, upon the edge of yonder coppice, a stand where you may make the fairest shoot.
I thank my beauty. I am fair that shoot. And thereupon thou speak'st, the fairest shoot.
Pardon me, madame, for I meant not so.
What? First praise and again say no. Oh, short-lived pride! Not fair, alack for woe!
Oui, madame, fair.
Nay, never paint me now. Where fair is not, praise cannot mend the brow. Here, Good, my glass, take this for telling true. Fair payment for foul words is more than due.
Nothing but fair is that which you inherit.
See, my beauty will be saved by merit? Oh, heresy in fair, fit for these days. A giving hand, though foul, shall have fair praise. But come, the brow now mercy goes to kill, and shooting well is then accounted ill. Thus will I save my credit to the shoot. Not wounding, pity would not let me do't. If wounding, then it was to show my skill, that more for praise than purpose meant to kill, and out of question, so it is sometimes, glory grows guilty of detested crimes. When, for fame's sake, for praise, an outward part, we bend to that the working of the heart. And as I for praise alone now seek to spill the poor dear's blood that my heart means no ill.
Do not cursed wives hold that self-sovereignty only for praise sake, when they strive to be lords o'er their lords?
Only for praise, and praise we may afford to any lady that subdues a lord.
Here comes a member of the Commonwealth.
Enter Costard.
God dig you, den all. Pray you, which is the head lady?
Thou shalt know her, fellow, by the rest that have no heads.
Which is the greatest lady, the highest?
The thickest and the tallest.
The thickest and the tallest? It is so, truth is truth. And your waist, mistress, were as slender as my wit. One of these maids' girdles for your waist should be fit. Are not you the chief woman? You are the thickest here.
What's your will, sir? What's your will?
I have a letter from Monsieur Biron to one lady Rosaline.
Oh, the letter! The letter! He's a good friend of mine. Stand aside, good bearer. Boyet, you can carve. Break open this capon.
Kim?
I am bound to serve. Well, this letter is mistook. It importeth none here. It is writ to Jaquanetta.
We will read it, I swear. Break the neck of the wax, and everyone give ear.
Reads.
By heaven, the is most infallible. True, that thou art beauteous. Truth itself, that thou art lovely. More fair than fair, beautiful than beauteous, than truth itself, have commiseration, vassal. Magnanimous and most illustrate King Cophetua, set I upon the pernicious and indubitate beggar Xenophilen. And he it was that might rightly say, Veni vidi vici, which to anathenize in the vulgar, oh base and obscure vulgar, videlicet. He came, he saw, he overcame. He came, 1, saw, 2, overcame, 3. Who came? The king. Why did he come? To see. Why did he see? To overcome. To whom came he? To the beggar. What saw he? The beggar. Who overcame he? The beggar. The conclusion is victory. On whose side? The king's. The captive is enriched. On whose side? The beggar's. The catastrophe is a nuptial. On whose side? The king's? No, on both in one or one in both. I am the king, for so stands the comparison, thou the beggar, for so witnesseth thy lowliness. Shall I command thy love? I may. Shall I enforce thy love? I could. Shall I entreat thy love? I will. What shalt thou exchange for rags? Robes. For tittles, titles. For thyself, me. Thus, expecting thy reply, I profane my lips on thy foot, my eye on thy picture, and my heart on every part. thine in the dearest design of industry, Don Adriano de Armado. Thus dost thou hear the Nemean lion roar, 'gainst thee, thou lamb that standest as his prey. Submissive fall his princely feet before, and he from forage will incline to play. But if thou strive, poor soul, what art thou then? Food for his rage, repasture for his den.
What plume of feather is he that indited this letter? What vane, what weathercock? Did you ever hear better?
I am much deceived, but I remember the style.
Else your memory is bad, going o'er a while.
This Armado is a Spaniard that keeps here in court, a phantasime, a monarcho, and one that makes sport to the prince and his bookmates.
Thou fellow, a word. Who gave thee this letter?
I told you, my lord.
To whom shouldst thou give it?
From my lord to my lady.
From which lord to which lady?
From my lord Biron, a good master of mine, to a lady of France that he called Rosaline.
Ugh, thou hast mistaken his letter. Come, lords, away.
To Rosaline.
Here, sweet, put up this. 'Twill be thine another day.
Exeunt, princess and train.
Who is the suitor? Who is the suitor?
Shall I teach you to know?
Hi, my continent of beauty.
Why, she that bears the bow, funnily put off.
My lady goes to kill horns, but if thou marry, hang me by the neck, if horns that year miscarry, finely put on.
Well then, I am the shooter.
And who is your dear?
If we choose by the horns, yourself come not near, finely put on indeed.
You still wrangle with her, Boyet, and she strikes at the brow.
But she herself is hit lower. Have I hit her now?
Shall I come upon thee with an old saying that was a man when King Pepin of France was a little boy, as touching the hit it?
So I may answer thee with one as old, that was a woman when Queen Guinevere of Britain was a little wench, as touching the hit it.
Thou canst not hit it, thou canst not hit it, my good man.
And I cannot, and I cannot, another can.
Exeunt, Rosaline and Katharine.
By my troth, most pleasant, both did fit it.
A mark marvellous well shot, for they both did hit it.
A mark, oh, mark, but that mark. A mark, says my lady. Let the mark have a prick in it, to met at, if it may be.
Wide o' the bow hand, I faith your hand is out.
Indeed, he must shoot nearer, or he'll ne'er hit the clout.
And if my hand be out, then be like your hand is in.
Then she will get the upshoot by cleaving the pin.
Come, you talk greasily. Your lips grow foul.
She's too hard for you at prick, sir. Challenge her to bowl.
I fear too much rubbing. Good night, my good owl.
Exeunt, Boyet and Maria.
By my soul, a swain, a most simple clown. Lord, how the ladies have I put him down. Oh, my troth, most sweet jest, most icony, vulgar wit, when it comes so smoothly off, so obscenely as it were so fit. Armado, oh, the one side, oh, a most dainty man, to see him walking before a lady and to bear her fan, to see him kiss his hand, and how most sweetly I will swear. And his page on the other side, that handful of wit, heavens, it's a most pathetical knit. So la.
Shout within. Exit Costard, running. End scene 1. Scene 2, the same. Enter Holofernes, Sir Nathaniel, and Dull.
Very reverend sport, truly, and done in the testimony of a good conscience.
The deer was, as you know, sanguine in blood, ripe as the palm water, who now hangeth like a jewel in the ear of Callow, the sky, the welkin, the heaven, and anon falleth like a crab on the face of terra, the soil, the land, the earth.
Truly, Master Holofernes, the epithets are sweetly varied, like a scholar at the least. But, sir, I assure ye, it was a buck of the first head.
Sir Nathaniel, haud credo.
'Twas not a haud credo, 'twas a pricket.
Most barbarous intimation, yet a kind of insinuation, as it were, and via in way of explication, facier, as it were, replication, or rather ostinaire, to show, as it were, his inclination, after his undressed, unpolished, uneducated, unpruned, untrained, or rather unlettered, or rathest, unconfirmed fashion, to insert again my haud credo for a deer.
I said the deer was not a haud credo, 'twas a pricket.
Twice sawed simplicity, his coctus. O thou monster ignorance, how deformed dost thou look?
Sir, he hath never fed on the deities that are bred in a book. He hath not eat paper, as it were. He hath not drunk ink. His intellect is not replenished. He is only an animal, only sensible in the duller parts. And such barren plants are set before us that we thankful should be, which we of taste and feeling are, for those parts that do fructify in us more than he. For as it would ill become me to be vain, indiscreet, or a fool, so were that a patch set on learning to see him in a school. But omni bene, say I, being of my old father's mind, many can brook the weather that love not the wind.
You two are bookmen. Can you tell me by your wit what was a month old at Cain's birth that's not 5 weeks old as yet?
Dictinia, good Mandel. Dictinia, good Mandel.
What is Dictinia?
A title to Phoebe, to Luna, to the moon.
The moon was a month old when Adam was no more, and wrought not to 5 weeks when he came to 50. The illusion holds in the exchange.
'Tis true indeed. The collusion holds in the exchange.
God comfort thy capacity. I say the illusion holds in the exchange.
And I say the pollution holds in the exchange. For the moon is never but a month old, and I say beside that 'twas a pricket that the princess killed.
Sir Nathaniel, will you hear an extemporal epitaph on the death of the deer? And to humor the ignorant, call I the deer the princess killed a pricket.
Purge, good Master Holofernes, purge, so it shall please you to abrogate scrutiny.
I will something affect the letter, for it argues facility. The prayful princess pierced and pricked a pretty pleasing pricket. Some say a sore, but not a sore, till now made sore with shooting. The dogs did yell, put L to sore, then sorrel jumps from thicket. Or pricket sore, or else sorrel, the people fall a-hooting. If sore be sore, then L to sore, make 50 sores 1 sorrel. If 1 sore I an 100 make by adding but 1 more L.
A rare talent!
If a talent be a claw, look how he claws him with a talent.
This is a gift that I have, simple, a foolish, extravagant spirit full of forms, figures, shapes, objects, ideas, apprehensions, motions, revolutions. These are begot in the ventricle of memory, nourished in the womb of pia mater, and delivered upon the mellowing of occasion. But the gift is good in those in whom it is acute, and I am thankful for it.
Sir, I praise the Lord for you, and so may my parishioners, for their sons are well tutored by you, and their daughters profit very greatly under you. You are a good member of the commonwealth.
Miracle, if their sons be ingenuous, they shall want no instruction. If their daughters be capable, I will put it to them. But vir sapit qui pacaloquitora sol feminine saluteth us.
Enter Jaquinetta and Costard.
God give you good morrow, Master Parson.
Master Parson, quasi person. And if one should be pierced, which is the one?
Marry, Master Schoolmaster, he that is likest to a hogshead.
piercing a hogshead, a good lustre of conceit and tuft of earth, fire enough for a flint, pearl enough for a swine. 'Tis pretty, it is well.
Good Master Parson, be so good as to read me this letter. It was given me by Costard and sent me from Don Armado. I beseech you, read it.
Fauste precor galida quando pecuam nisabambra, ruminaten, so forth. Ah, good old Mantuan, I may speak of thee as the traveller doth of Venice. Venetia, Venetia, qui non ti vede non ti precia. Old Mantuan, who understandeth thee not, loves thee not. Ut, re, sol, la, mi, fa. Under pardon, sir, what are the contents? Or rather, as Horace says in his, what my soul verses?
Aye, sir, and very learned.
Let me hear a staff, a stanza, a verse, legi domine.
If love make me forsworn, how shall I swear to love? I never faith could hold, if not to beauty vowed. Though to myself forsworn, to thee I'll faithful prove. Those thoughts to me were oaks, to thee like osiers bode. Study his bias leaves, and makes his book thine eyes, where all those pleasures live that art would comprehend. If knowledge be the mark, to know thee shall suffice. Well learned is that tongue that well can thee commend. All ignorant that soul that sees thee without wonder, which is to me some praise that I thy parts admire. Thy eye Jove's lightning bears, thy voice his dreadful thunder, which not to anger bent is music and sweet fire. Celestial as thou art, oh pardon, love, this is wrong, that sings heaven's praise with such an earthly tongue.
You find not the apostrophos and so miss the accent. Let me supervise the canzonet. Here are only numbers ratified, but for the elegancy, facility, and golden cadence of poesy correct. Ovidius Nasu was the man, and why indeed Naso, but for smelling out the odoriferous flowers of fancy, the jerks of invention. Imitari is nothing, so doth the hound his master, the ape his keeper, the tired horse his rider. But Damosella Virgin, was this directed to you?
Aye, sir, from the Monsignor Biron, one of the strange queen's lords.
I will overglance the superscript. To the snow-white hand of the most beauteous lady, Rosaline. I will look again on the intellect of the letter for the nomination of the party writing to the person written unto your ladyship's in all desired employment, Biron. Sir Nathaniel, this Biron is one of the votaries with the king, and here he hath framed a letter to a sequent in the stranger queens, which accidentally, or by the way of progression, hath miscarried. Trip and go, my sweet. Deliver this paper to the royal hand of the king, it may concern much. Stay not thy compliment, I forgive thy duty. Adieu.
Good Costard, go with me. Sir, God save your life.
Have with thee, my girl.
Exeunt, Costard and Jaquinetta.
Sir, you have done this in the fear of God very religiously, and as a certain father saith.
Sir, tell me not of the father, I do fear colorable colors. But to return to the verses, did they please you, Sir Nathaniel?
Marvelous well for the pen.
Ooh, I just lost that. I do dine today at the father's of a certain pupil of mine, where if before repast it shall please you to gratify the table with a grace, I will, on my privilege I have with the parents of the foresaid child or pupil, undertake your benvenuto, where I will prove those verses to be very unlearned, neither savoring of poetry, wit, nor invention. I beseech your society.
And thank you too, for society, saith the text, is the happiness of life.
And certes, the text most infallibly concludes it.
To dull?
Sir, I do invite you too. You shall not say me nay. Pacca verba. Away! The gentles are at their game, and we will to our recreation.
Exeunt. Scene 3, the same. Enter Biron with the paper. Elan, you're on mute.
Thank you. The king, he is hunting the deer. I am coursing myself. They have pitched a toil. I am toiling in a pitch. Pitch that defiles. Defile, a foul word. Well, set thee down, sorrow. For so they say the fool said, and so say I, and I the fool. Well proved wit. By the Lord, this love is as mad as Ajax. It kills sheep. It kills me. I am a sheep. Well proved again, O my side. I will not love. If I do, hang me. If faith, I will not. Oh, but her eye, by this light. But for her eye, I would not love her. Yes, for her 2 eyes. Will I do nothing in the world but lie, and lie in my throat? By heaven, I do love. And it hath taught me to rhyme, and to be melancholy. And here is part of my rhyme. And here my melancholy. Well, she hath one of my sonnets already. The clown bore it, the fool sent it, and the lady hath it. Sweet clown, sweeter fool, sweetest lady. By the world, I would not care a pin if the other 3 were in. Here comes one with a paper. God save him grace to grow.
Stands aside. Enter Ferdinand with a paper.
Hey, me?
Shot by heaven, proceed, sweet Cupid. Thou hast thumped him and thy bird bolt under the left pap. In faith, secrets.
Reads.
So sweet a kiss the golden sun gives not to those flesh morning drops upon the rose. As thy eye beams with their fresh rays have smote the night of dew, and that on my cheeks down flows. Nor shines the silver moon one half so bright, though the transparent bosom of the deep. As doth thy face through tears of mine give light, thou shinest in every tear that I do weep. No drop but a coach doth carry thee. So ridest thou triumphing in my woe, did but behold the tears that swell in mine, and thy glory through my grief will show, but I do not love thyself. Then thou wilt keep my tears for glasses, and still make me weep, O Queen of Queens. How far doth thou excel? No thought can think, nor tongue of mortal tell. How shall she know my griefs? I'll drop the paper. Sweet leaves shade Polly. Who is he comes here?
Steps aside. James, yeah, a little bit more.
Oh, what Longfellow, and reading, listen, ear.
Now, in thy likeness, one more fool appear.
Enter Longaville with a paper.
Ay me, I am forsworn.
Why, he comes in like a perjurer wearing papers.
In love, I hope, sweet fellowship in shame.
One drunkard loves another of the name.
Am I the first that have been perjured so?
I could put thee in comfort, not by 2 that I know. Thou makest the triumvirate, the corner cap of society, the shape of love's Tyburn that hangs up simplicity.
I fear these stubborn lines lack power to move. Oh, sweet Maria, empress of my love, these numbers will I tear and write in prose.
Oh, rhymes are guards on wanton Cupid's hose, disfigure not his slop.
The same shall go.
Reads.
Did not the heavenly rhetoric of thine eye, against whom the world cannot hold argument, persuade my heart to this false perjury? Vows for thee broke deserve not punishment. A woman I forswore, but I will prove, thou being a goddess, I forswore not thee. My vow was earthly, thou a heavenly love, thy grace being gained cures all disgrace in me. Vows are but breath, and breath a vapor is. Then thou, fair sun, which on my earth dost shine, exhalest this vapor vow. In thee it is. If broken then, it is no fault of mine. If by me broke, what fool is not so wise to lose an oath to win a paradise?
This is the liver vein which makes flesh a deity, a green goose a goddess, pure idolatry. God amend us, God amend, we are much out of the way.
By whom shall I send this? Company, stay.
Steps aside.
All hid, in old infant play. Like a demigod, here sit I in the sky, the wretched fool's secrets heedfully or I. More Saxo to the mill, oh heavens, I have my wish.
Enter Dumain with the paper. Yeah, a little bit more
Dumain
line.
transformed, 4 woodcocks in a dish.
Oh, most divine Kate.
Oh, most profane coxcomb.
By heaven, the wonder in her mortal eye.
By earth she is not, corporal, there you lie.
Her amber hair for foul hath amber quoted.
An amber-colored raven was well noted.
As upright as the cedar.
Stoop, I say, her shoulder is with child.
As fair as day.
Aye, as some days, but then no sun must shine.
Oh, that I had my wish.
And I had mine.
And I mine too, good Lord.
Amen. So I had mine. Is not that a good word?
I would forget her. But a fever she reigns in my blood, and I will remembered be.
A fever in your blood. Why then incision would let her out in saucers. Sweet Miss Prison.
Once more I'll read the ode that I'll have writ.
Oh, that was my phone.
Oh,
Once more I'll mark how love can vary wit.
Reads.
On a day, alack the day. Love, whose month is ever May, spied a blossom passing fair, playing in the wanton air. Though the velvet leaves the wind, all unseen can passage find, that the lover sick to death wished himself the heaven's breath. Ere, quoth he, thy cheeks may blow, ere would I might triumph so, but alack, my hand is sworn, never to pluck thee a sweet. Do not call it in sin in me that I am forsworn for thee. Thou for whom Job would swear Juno but an Ethiop were, and deny himself for Job? Turning mortal for thy love, this will I send, and something else more plain, that shall express my true love's fasting pain. Oh, would the king, Biron, and Longaville were lovers too? Ill, to example, ill, would from my forehead wipe a perjured note, for none offend where all alike do dote.
Dumain, thy love is far from charity, then love's grief desirous society. You may look pale, but I should blush, I know, to be o'erheard in taking napping so.
Come, sir, you blush, as his is your case is such. You chide at him, offending twice as much. You do not love Maria Longaville, did never sonnet for her sake compile, nor never lay his wreathed arm to thwart his loving bosom to heap down his heart. I have been closely shrouded in this bush, and marked you both, and for you both did blush. I heard your guilty rhymes, observed your fashion, saw sighs reek from you, noted well your passion. Ay me, says one, O Jove, the other cries. One, her hairs were gold, crystal the other's eyes.
To Longaville.
You would for paradise break faith and troth.
To Dumain.
And Jove for your love would infringe an oath. What will Biron say when he shall hear faith so unfringed, which such zeal did swear? How will he scorn? How will he spend his wit? How will he triumph, leap, and laugh at it for all the wealth that ever I did see? I would not have him know how much by me.
Now step I forth to whip hypocrisy.
Advancing.
Ah, good my liege, I pray thee pardon me. Good heart, what grace hast thou, thus to reprove these worms for loving, that art most in love? Your eyes do make no coaches in your tears. There is no certain princess that appears. You'll not be perjured, 'tis a hateful thing. Tush, none but minstrels like of sonneting. But are you not ashamed? Nay, are you not, all three of you, to be thus much o'ershot? You found this mote, the king your mote did see, but I a beam do find in each of three. Oh, what a scene of foolery have I seen, of sighs, of groans, of sorrow and of teen. Oh me, with what strict patience have I sat, to see a king transformed to a gnat, to see great Hercules whipping a gig, and profound Solomon to tune a jig, and Nestor play at pushpin with the boys, and critic Timon laugh at idle toys. Where lies thy grief? Oh, tell me, good Dumain, and gentle Longaville, where lies thy pain? And where, my lieges, all about the breast? Oh, cobble ho!
Too bitter is thy jest, as we are betrayed thus to thy overview.
Not you to me, but I betrayed by you. I that am honest, I that hold it in sin. To break the vow I am engaged in, I am betrayed by keeping company with men like men of inconsistency. When shall you see me write a thing in rhyme, or groan for love, or spend a minute's time in pruning me? When shall you hear that I will praise a hand, a foot, a face, an eye, a gait, a state, a brow, a breast, a waist, a leg, a limb?
Soft, whither away so fast? A true man or a thief that gallops so?
I post from love. Good lover, let me go.
Enter Jaquinetta and Costard.
God bless the king.
What present hast thou there?
Some certain treason.
What makes treason here?
Nay, it makes nothing, sir.
If it mar nothing, neither the treason, and you go in peace away together.
I beseech your grace, let this letter be read. Our parson misdoubts it 'twas treason, he said.
Biron, read it over.
Giving him the paper.
Where hadst thou it?
Of Costard.
Where hast thou it?
Of Donald Radmio. Donald Radmio.
Biron tears the letter.
Hear now what is in you. Why dost thou tear it?
A toy, my liege, a toy. Your grace need not fear it.
It did move him to passion, and therefore let's hear it.
It is Biron's writing, and here is his name.
Gathering up the pieces.
Ah, you whoreson loggerhead, you were born to do me shame. Guilty, my lord, guilty. I confess, I confess.
What?
That you three fools lacked me fool to make up the mess. He, and you, my liege and I, are pick purses in love, and we deserve to die. Oh, dismiss this audience, and I shall tell you more.
Now the number is even.
True. We are 4. Will these turtles be gone?
Hence, sirs, away.
Walk aside the true folk and let the traitors stay.
Exeunt Costard and Jaquinetta.
Sweet lords, sweet lovers. Oh, let us embrace. As true we are as flesh and blood can be. The sea will ebb and flow. Heaven show his face. Young blood doth not obey an old decree. We cannot cross the cause why we were born. Therefore, of all hands must we be forsworn.
What? Did these rent lines show some love of thine?
Did they, quoth you, who sees the heavenly Rosaline, that like a rude and savage man of Inde, at the first opening of the gorgeous east, bows not his vassal head and struck and blind, kisses the base ground and obedient breast? What peremptory eagle eye dares look upon the heaven of her brow, that is not blinded by her majesty?
What zeal, what flurry hath inspired thee now? My love, her mistress, is a gracious moon. She an attending star, scarce seen a light.
My eyes are then no wise, nor I Biron. I, but for my love, day would turn to night. Of all complexions, the cult sovereignty do meet as at a fair in her fair cheek. Where several worthies make one dignity, where nothing wants that want itself doth seek. Lend me the flourish of gentle tongues. Fie, painted rhetoric, oh, she needs it not. To things of sale a seller's praise belongs. She passes praise, then praise too short doth blot. A withered hermit, 5 scores winter worn, might shake off 50 looking in her eye. Beauty doth varnish age as if newborn, and give the crutch the cradle's infancy. Oh, 'tis the sun that maketh all things shine.
By heaven, thy love is black as ebony.
Is ebony like her? Oh, wood divine! A wife of such wood were felicity. Oh, who can give an oath? Where is a book that I may swear beauty doth beauty lack? If there she learn not of her idle look, no face is fair that is full so black.
Oh, paradox! Black is the badge of hell, the hue of dungeons, and the suit of night, and beauty's crest becomes the heaven's whim.
Devil soonest tempt, resembling spirit's light. Oh, in black my lady's brows be decked. It mourns, and painting and usurping hair should ravish doters with false aspect. And therefore is she born to make black fair. Her favors turn the fashion of the days. For native blood is counted painting now, and therefore red, that would avoid dispraise, paints itself black to imitate her brow.
To look like her are chimney sweepers black.
And since her time are colliers counted bright.
And Ethiops of their sweet complexion crack.
Dark needs no candles now, for dark is light.
Your mistress dare never come in rain, for fear their colors should be washed away.
We're good, yours did, for, sir, to tell you plain, you'll find a fairer face not washed today.
I'll prove her fair, or talk till doomsday here.
No devil will fight thee then so much as she.
I never knew man hold vile stuff so dear.
Look, here's thy love, my foot and her face see.
Oh, if the streets were paved with thine eyes, her feet were much too dainty for such tread.
Oh, vile! Then, as she goes, what upward lies the street should see as she walked overhead?
But what of this? Are we not all in love?
Nothing for so sure, and thereby all forsworn.
Then leave this chat, and, good Biron, now prove our loving lawful and our faith not torn.
Aye, Mary, there, some flattery for this evil.
Oh, some authority how to proceed, some tricks, some quillets how to cheat the devil.
Some salve for perjury.
'Tis more than need. Have at you then, affection men's at arms. Consider what you first did swear unto, to fast, to study, and to see no women. Flat treason against the kingly state of youth. Say, can you fast? Your stomachs are too young, and abstinence engenders maladies. And were that you have vowed to study, lords, in that each of you have forsworn his book, can you still dream and pore and thereon look? For when would you, my lord, or you, have found the ground of study's excellence without beauty of a woman's face? From women's eyes, this doctrine I just derive. They are the ground, the books, the academes from whence doth spring the true Promethean fire. Why, universal plodding poisons up the nimble spirits in the arteries, as motion and long-during action tires the sinewy vigor of the traveler. Now, for not looking on a woman's face, you have in that forsworn the use of eyes, and study too, the causer of your vow. For there is any author in the world teaches such beauty as a woman's eye. Learning is but an adjunct to ourself, and where we are learning likewise is, then when ourselves we see the lady's eyes. Do we not likewise see in learning there? Oh, we have made a vow to study, lords, and in that vow we have forsworn our books. For when would you, my liege, or you, in leaden contemplation have found out such fiery numbers as the prompting eyes of beauty's tutors have enriched you with? Other slow arts entirely keep the brain, and therefore finding barren practicers, scarce show a harvest in their heavy toll. But love, first learned in a lady's eyes, lives not alone immured in the brain, but in the motion of all elements, courses as swift as thought in every power, and gives to every power a double power. Above their functions and their offices, it adds a precious seeing to the eye. A lover's gaze will gaze an eagle blind. A lover's ear will hear the lowest sound. When the suspicious head of theft is stopped, love's feeling is more soft and sensible than are the tender horns of cockled snails. Love's tongue proves dainty Bacchus gross in taste. For valor is not love a Hercules, still climbing the trees of Hesperides, subtle as a sphinx, as sweet and musical as Apollo's lute, strung with his hair, and when love speaks, the voice of all the gods makes heaven drowsy with the harmony. Never durst poet touch a pen to write, until his ink were tempered with love's sighs. Oh, then his lines would ravish savage ears, and plant in tyrants mild humility. From women's eyes this doctrine I derive. They sparkle still, the ripe Promethean fire. They are books, the arts, the academes, that show, contain, and nourish all the world, else none in aught proves excellent. Then fools you were these women to forswear, or keeping what is sworn, you will prove fools, for make wisdom's sake a word that all men love, or for love's sake a word that loves all men, or for men's sake the authors of these women, or women's sake by whom we men are men. Let us once lose our oaths to find ourselves, or else we lose ourselves to keep our oaths. It is religion to be thus forsworn, for charity itself fulfills the law, and who can sever love from charity?
Saint Cupid then, and soldiers to the field.
Advance your standards, and upon them, my lords, pell-mell, down with them. But be first advised, in conflict, that you get the son of them.
Not a plain dealing. Lay these glozes by. Shall we resolve to woo these girls of France?
And win them too. Therefore, let us devise some entertainment for them in their tents.
First, from the park, let us conduct them thither, and then homeward every man attach the hand of his fair mistress in the afternoon. We will with some strange pastime solace them, such as the shortness of the time can shape. For revels, dances, masks, and merry hours, forerun fair love, strewing her way with flowers.
Away, away, no time shall be omitted. That will be time, and may by us be fitted.
Allons, allons, sound cockle reap no corn, and justice away always whirls in equal measure. Light wenches may prove plagues to men forsworn. If so, our copper bears no better treasure.
Exeunt. End Act 4. Act 5. Scene 1, the same. Enter Holofernes, Sir Nathaniel, and Dull.
Satis quod sufficit.
I praise God for you, sir. Your raisins at dinner have been sharp and sententious, pleasant without scurrility, witty without affection, audacious without impudency, learned without opinion, and strange without hearsay. I did converse the quondam day with a companion of the king's, who intitulated, nominated, or called Don Adriano de Armado.
Novi hominem tanquatem. His humor is lofty, his discourse peremptory, his tongue filed, his eye ambitious, his gait majestical, and his general behavior vain, ridiculous, and thrasonical. He is too picked, too spruce, too affected, too odd, as it were, too peregrinate, as I may call it.
A most singular and choice epithet.
Draws out his table book.
He draweth out the thread of his verbosity finer than the staple of his argument. I abhor such fanatical phantasms, such insoluble and point-devised companions, such rackers of orthography as to speak doubt fine, when he should say doubt, debt, when he should say pronounce debt, D-E-B-T, not D-E-T. He clappeth a calf, cough, half, hoff, neighbor, vocator, neber, nay, abbreviated, nay. This is abominable, which he would call abominable, abominable. It insinuateth me of inseni, an intelligis, domine, to make frantic, lunatic.
Laus Deo, bene intelligio.
Bon, bon, fort bon. Persician, a little scratch, 'twill serve.
Videsni quis venit.
Video et Gaudeo.
Enter Don Adriano de Armado, Moth, and Costard.
Gira!
To Moth.
Quare gira, not sirrah?
Men of peace, well encountered.
Most military, sir, salutation.
They have been at a great feast of languages and stolen the scraps.
Oh, they have lived long on the alms basket of words. I marvel thy master hath not eaten thee for a word, for thou art not so long by the head as onoficabilitudinitad bitibus. Thou art easier swallowed than a flapdragon.
Peace! The peal begins.
Monsieur, are you not lettered?
Yes, yes, he teaches boys the horn book. What is a B spelt backward with the horn on his head?
Ba. Paritia with a horn added.
Bah, most silly sheep with a horn. You hear his learning.
Ki, thou consonant.
The third of the 5 vowels if you repeat them, or the 5th if I.
I will repeat them. A, E, I.
The sheep, the other 2 concludes it. O, ew.
Now, by the salt wave of the Mediterranean, a sweet touch, a quick venue of wit, snip, a snap, a quick and home, it rejoiceth my intellect, true wit.
Offered by a child to an old man, which is wit old.
What is the figure? What is the figure?
Horns.
Thou disputest like an infant. Go, whip thy gig.
Lend me your horn to make one, and I will whip about your infamy circa a gig of a cuckold's horn.
And I had but 1 penny in the world, thou shouldst have it to buy gingerbread. Hold, there is the very remuneration I had of the master. Thou halfpenny purse of wit, thou pigeon egg of discretion. Oh, and the heavens were so pleased with thou wert but my bastard. What a joyful father wouldst thou make of me? Go to, thou hast it a dunghill at the finger's end, as they say.
Oh, I smell false Latin. Dunghill for unguem.
Artsman, preambulate. We will be singled from the barbarous. Do you not educate youth at the charge house on top of the mountain?
Ormonds, the hill.
At your sweet pleasure, for the mountain?
I do, sans question.
Sir, it is the king's most sweet pleasure and affection to congratulate the princess at her pavilion in the posteriors of this day, which the rude multitude call the afternoon.
The posterior of the day, most generous sir, is liable, congruent, and measurable for the afternoon. The word is well culled, chose, sweet, and apt, I do assure you. Sir, I do assure you.
Sir, the king is a noble gentleman, and my familiar, I do assure ye, very good friend. For what is inward between us, let it pass. I do beseech thee. Remember thy courtesy. I beseech thee, apparel thy head, and among some other important and most serious designs, and of great import indeed too. But let that pass, for I must tell thee, it will please his grace by the world sometime to lean upon my poor shoulder, and with his royal finger thus dally with my excrement, with my mustachio. But sweetheart, let that pass. By the world I recount no fable. Some certain special honors it pleaseth his greatness to impart to Armado, a soldier, of a man of travel, that hath seen the world. But let that pass. The very of all is, but sweetheart, I do implore secrecy, that the king would have me present the princess, sweet Chuck, with some delightful ostentation or show or pageant or antique or firework. Now, understanding that the curate and your sweet self are good at such eruptions and sudden breaking forth of mirth as it is, I have acquainted you with all to that inn to crave your assistance.
Sir, you shall present before her the 9 worthies Sir, as concerning some entertainment of time, some show in the posterity of this day, to be rendered by our assistants at the king's command, and this most gallant, illustrate, and learned gentleman before the princess, I say none so fit as to present the 9 worthies.
Where will you find men worthy enough to present them?
Joshua, yourself, myself, and this gallant gentleman, Judas Maccabeus, this swain, because of his great limb or joint, shall pass Pompey the Great, the page Hercules.
Pardon, sir. Error. He is not quantity enough for that worthy stump. He is not so big as the end of his club.
Shall I have audience? He shall present Hercules in minority. His enter and exit shall be strangling a snake, and I will have an apology for that purpose.
An excellent device. So if any of the audience hiss, you may cry, "Well done, Hercules, now thou crushest the snake." That is the way to make an offense gracious, though few have the grace to do it.
For the rest of the worthies?
I will play 3 myself.
Thrice worthy, gentlemen.
Shall I tell you a thing?
We attend.
We will have, if this fadge not an Antigua. I beseech you follow.
Via, good man Dull, thou hast spoken no word all this while.
Nor understood none neither, sir.
Allons, we employ thee.
I'll make one in a dance or so, or I will play on the tabor to the worthies, and let them dance the hay.
Most dull, honest Dull. To our sport, away!
Exeunt. Exeunt. Scene 2, the same. Enter the princess, Katharine, Rosaline, and Maria. Hannah, you're on mute. Hannah, you're on mute.
I said the whole line. Okay, let's go. All right. Sweethearts, we shall be rich ere we depart, if fairings come thus plentifully in, a lady walled about with diamonds. Look you what I have from the loving king.
Madam, came nothing else along with that?
Nothing but this. Yes, as much love in rhyme as would be crammed up in a sheet of paper with on both sides the leaf, margent, and all, that he was fain to seal on Cupid's name.
That was the way to make his godhead wax, for he hath been 5,000 years a boy.
Aye, and a shrewd, unhappy gallows, too.
You'll never be friends with him. Kill your sister.
He made her melancholy, sad, and heavy, and so she died. Had she been light like you, of such a merry, nimble, stirring spirit, she might have been a grandam ere she died. And so may you, for a light heart lives long.
What's your dark meaning, mouse, of this light word?
A light condition and a beauty dark.
You need more light to find your meaning out.
You'll mar the light by taking it in snuff, therefore I'll darkly end the argument.
Look what you do, you look it still ere the dark.
So do not you, for you are a light wench.
Indeed, I weigh not you, and therefore light.
You weigh me not? Oh, that's you care not for me.
Great reason, for past cure is still past cure.
Well bandied both, a set of wit well played, but Rosalind, you have a favor too. Who sent it? And what is it?
I would you knew, and if my face were but as fair as yours, my favor were as great, be witness this. Nay, I have verses too. I thank Biron, the number's true, and were the numbering too. I were the fairest goddess on the ground. I am compared to 20,000 fairs. Oh, he hath drawn my picture in his letter.
Anything like?
Much in the letters, nothing in the praise.
Beauteous as ink. A good conclusion.
There is a text B in a copybook.
Where pencils ho, let me not die your debtor. Oh, my red Dominical, my golden letter. Oh, that your face were not so full of O's.
A pox of that jest, and I beshrew all shrouds.
But Katharine, what was sent to you from fair Dumain?
Madam, this glove?
Did he not send you twain?
Yes, madam, and moreover some 1,000 verses of a faithful lover, a huge translation of hypocrisy, vilely compiled, profound simplicity.
This and these pearls to me sent Longaville. The letter is too long by half a mile.
I think no less. To sound out wish in heart the chain were longer and the letter short.
Aye, or I would these hands might never part.
We are wise girls to mock our lovers so.
They are worse fools to purchase mocking so. That same Biron I'll torture ere I'll go. Oh, that I knew he were but in my week. How I would make him fawn and beg and seek and wait the season, observe the times, and spend his prodigal wits in bootless rhymes, and shape his surface wholly to my jests, and make him proud to make me proud that jest. That petulance, like would I o'er his state, that he should be my fool, and I his fate.
None are so surely caught when they are catched, as wit turned fool. Folly in wisdom hatch hath wisdom's warrant and help of school, and wit's own grace to grace a learned fool.
The bloody of youth burns not with such excess as gravity's revolt to wantonness.
Folly in fools bears not so strong a note as foolery in the wise, when wit doth dote, since all the powers thereof if doth apply to prove by wit worth its simplicity.
Oh, here comes Boyet, and mirth in his face.
Enter Boyet.
Oh, I am stabbed with laughter. Where's her grace?
Thy news, Boyet?
Prepare, madame, prepare. Arm, wenches, arm. Encounters mounted are against your peace. Love doth approach disguised, armed in arguments. You'll be surprised. Muster your wits, stand in your own defense, or hide your heads like cowards and fly hence.
Saint Denis to Saint Cupid! What are they that charge their breath against us? Say, scout, say!
Under the cool shade of a sycamore, I thought to close mine eyes some half an hour, when lo, to interrupt my purposed rest, toward that shade I might behold addressed the king and his companions. Warily, I stole into a neighbor thicket by, and overheard what you shall overhear, that, by and by, disguised they will be here. Their herald is a pretty knavish page, that well by heart hath conned his embassage. Action and accent did they teach him there. Thou must thou speak, and thus thy body bear. And ever and anon they made a doubt presence majestical would put him out. For, quoth the king, an angel shalt thou see, yet fear not thou, but speak audaciously. The boy replied, an angel is not evil. I should have feared her had she been a devil. With that, all laughed and clapped him on the shoulder, making the bold wag by their praises bolder. One rubbed his elbow thus, and he fleered and swore a better speech was never spoke before. Another, with his finger and his thumb, cried, Via, we will do it, come what will come. The third, he capered and cried, all goes well. The fourth turned on the toe, and down he fell. With that, they all did tumble on the ground, which with such zealous laughter, so profound, that in his spleen ridiculous appears, to check their folly, passion's solemn tears.
But what come they to visit us?
They do, and are apparelled thus, like Muscovites or Russians, as I guess. Their purpose is to parle, to court and dance, And everyone his love feet will advance unto his several mistress, which they'll know by favors several which they did bestow.
And will they say so? The gallants shall be tasked for ladies, we shall everyone be masked, and not a man of them shall have the grace, despite of suit, to see a lady's face. Hold, Rosaline, this favor thou shalt wear, and then the king will court thee for his dear. Hold, take thou this, my sweet, and give me thine, so shall Biron take me for Rosaline. And change your favors too, so shall your loves woo contrary deceives by these removes.
Come on then, where the favors most in sight.
But in this changing, what is your intent?
The effect of my intent is to cross theirs. They do it, but in mocking merriment, and mock for mock is only my intent. Their several counsels they unbosom shall, to loves mistook, and so be mocked withal, upon the next occasion that we meet with visage displays to talk and greet.
But shall we dance if they desire to it?
No, to the death we will not move a foot. Nor on their pen speech render we no grace, but while 'tis spoke, each turn away her face.
Why, that contempt will kill the speaker's heart, and quite divorce his memory from his part.
Therefore I do it, and I make no doubt the rest will ne'er come in. But if he be out, there's no such sport as sport by sport o'erthrown, to make theirs ours, and ours none but our own. So shall we stay, mocking intended game, and they, well mocked, depart away with shame.
The trumpet sounds, be masked, the maskers come.
The ladies mask. Enter musicians with music. Moth, Ferdinand, Biron, Longaville, and Dumain, in Russian habits and masked.
All hail the richest beauties on the earth.
Beauty's no richer than rich taffeta.
A holy parcel of the fairest dames.
The ladies turn their backs to him.
That ever turned their backs to mortal views.
Their eyes, fill in their eyes.
That ever turned their eyes to mortal views. Out.
True, out indeed.
Out of your favors, heavenly spirits, vouchsafe not to behold.
Once to behold, rogue.
Once to behold with your sun-beamed eyes, with your sun-beamed eyes.
We will not answer to that epithet. You are best to call it daughter-beamed eyes.
They do not mark me, and that brings me out.
This is your perfectness? Begone, you rogue.
Exit Moth.
What would these strangers know their minds, Boyet? If they do speak our language, 'tis our will, that some plain man recount their purposes, know what they would.
What would you with the princess?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation.
What would they say they?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation.
Why, that they have, and bid them so be gone.
She says you have it, and you may be gone.
Say to her, we have measured many miles to tread a measure with her on this grass.
They say that they have measured many a mile to tread a measure with you on this grass.
It is not so. Ask them how many inches it is in 1 mile. If they have measured many, the measure then of one is easily told.
If to come hither you have measured miles, and many miles, the princess bids you tell how many inches doth fill up 1 mile.
Tell her we measure them by weary steps.
She hears herself.
How many weary steps of many weary miles you have o'ergone, and are numbered in the travel of 1 mile?
We number nothing that we spend for you. Our duty is so rich, so infinite, that we may do it still without a compt. Vouchsafe to show the sunshine of your face, that we, like savages, may worship it.
My face is but a moon, and clouded too.
Blessed are the clouds to do as such clouds do. Vouchsafe, bright moon, and to thy stars to shine, those clouds removed upon our watery eye.
O vain petitioner, beg a greater matter, that thou now request but moonshine in the water.
Then in our measures do, but vouchsafe one change, thou bidst me beg. This begging is not strange.
Play music then, nay, you must do it soon.
Music plays.
Not yet, no, dance, thus change I like the moon.
Will you not dance? How come you thus estranged?
You took the moon at full, but now she's changed.
Yet still she is the moon, and I the man. The music plays, vouchsafe some motion to it.
Our ears vouchsafe it.
And your legs should do it.
Since you are strangers and come here by chance, will not be nice, take hands, we will not dance.
Why take we hands then?
Only to part friends. Curtsy, sweethearts, and so the measure ends.
More measure of this measure, be not nice.
We can afford no more at such a price.
Prize yourselves, what buys your company?
Your absence only.
That can never be.
Then cannot we be bought, and so adieu, twice to your visor, and half once to you.
If you denied to dance, let's hold more chat.
In private then.
I'm best pleased with that.
They converse apart.
White-handed mistress, one sweet word with thee. You're on mute, Hannah.
Honey and milk and sugar there is 3.
Nay then, 2 trays, and if you grow so nice, metheglin, wort, and malmsey, well rondice, there's a half a dozen sweets.
7th sweet adieu. Since you can cog, I'll play no more with you.
One more word, in secret.
Let it not be sweet.
Thou grievest my gall.
Gall! Bitter.
Therefore meat.
They converse apart.
Will you vouchsafe with me to change a word?
Name it.
Fair lady.
Say you so, fair lord? Take that for your fair lady?
Pleased at you, as much in private, and I'll bid adieu.
They converse apart.
What was your visit made without a tongue?
I know the reason, lady, why you ask.
Oh, for your reason. Quickly, sir, I long.
You have a double tongue within your mask, and would afford my speechless visored half.
Veil, quoth the Dutchman, is not veal a calf?
A calf, fair lady.
No, a fair lord calf.
Let's part the word.
No, I'll not be your half. Take all and wean it. It may prove an ox.
Look how you butt yourself in these sharp mocks. Will you give horns chase, lady? Do not so.
Then die a calf before your horns do grow.
One word in private with you, ere I die.
Bleat softly then, the butcher hears you cry.
They converse apart.
The tongues of mocking wenches are as keen as is the razor's edge invisible, cutting a smaller hair than may be seen above the sense of sense. So sensible seemeth their conference. Their conceits have wings, fleeter than arrows, bullets, wind, thought, swifter things.
Not one word more, my maids. Break off, break off.
By heaven, all dry beaten with pure scoff.
Farewell, mad wenches, you have simple wits.
Hannah?
20 adieus, my frozen Muscovits.
Exeunt. Ferdinand, lords, and musicians.
Are these the breed of wits we so wondered at?
Tapers they are, with your sweet breaths puffed out.
Well, liking wits they have, gross, gross, fats, fats.
Oh, poverty and wit, kingly poor flout. Will they not think you hang themselves tonight? Or ever, but in vizards show their faces? This pert Biron was out of countenance quite.
Oh, they were all in lamentable cases. The king was weeping, ripe for a good word.
Biron did swear himself out of all suit.
Dumain was at my service, and his sword. No point quoth I, my servant straight was mute.
Lord Longaville said, I came o'er his heart, and trow you what he called me?
Qualm, perhaps?
Yes, in good faith.
Go, sickness as thou art.
Well, better wits have worn plain statue caps. But will you hear? The king is my love sworn.
And quick Biron hath plighted faith to me.
And Longaville was for my service born.
Dumain is mine, as sure as bark on tree.
Madam, and pretty mistresses, give ear. Immediately they will again be here in their own shapes, for it can never be that they will digest this harsh indignity.
Will they return?
They will, God knows, and leap for joy, though they are lame with blows. Therefore, change favors, and when they repair, blow like sweet roses in the summer air.
How blow? How blow? Speak to me to be understood.
Fair ladies masked are roses in their bud. Dismask their damask sweet commixture shown are angels veiling clouds, or roses blown.
Avaunt perplexity! What shall we do if they return in their own shapes to woo?
Good madam, if by me you'll be advised, let's mock them still as well known our disguise. Let us complain to them what fools we're here, disguised like Muscovites in shapeless gear, and wonder what they were and to what ends their shallow shows and prologue vilely penned, and their rough carriage so ridiculous should be presented at our tents to us.
Ladies, withdraw, the gallants are at hand.
Whip to our tents, and as roes run o'er land.
Exeunt Princess Rosaline, Katharine and Maria, re-enter Ferdinand, Biron, Longaville, and Dumain in their proper habits.
Fair sir, God save you. Where's the princess?
Gone to her tent. Please it your majesty, command me any service to her thither.
And that she vouchsafe me audience for one word.
I will, and so will she, I know, my lord.
Exit.
This fellow pecks up wit as pigeons please, and utters it again when God doth please. He is wit's peddler and retails his wares at wakes and wassails, meetings, markets, fairs. And we that sell by gross the Lord doth know, have not the grace and to grace it with such show. This gallant pins the wenches on his sleeve. Had he been Adam, had he tempted Eve, and carved tooth and lisp, why this is he that kissed his hand away in courtesy. This is the ape of form, Monsieur the nice, that when he plays at tables, chides the dice. In honorable terms, nay, he can sing, most meanly, and in ushering, mend him who can. The ladies call him sweet. The stairs as he treads on them kiss his feet. This is the flower that smiles on every one, to show his teeth as white as whale's bone, and consciences that will not die in debt. Pay him the due of honey-tongued Boyet.
A blister on his sweet tongue was my heart that put Armando's page out of his part.
See where it comes, behavior that wert thou, till this madman showed thee. What art thou now?
Re-enter the princess, ushered by Boyet, Rosaline, Maria, and Katharine.
All hail, sweet madam, and fair time of day.
Fair, in all hail is foul, as I conceive.
Construe my speeches better, if you may.
Then wish me better. I will give you leave.
We come to visit you and purpose now to lead you to our court. Vouchsafe it then.
This field shall hold me, and so hold out your vow. Nor God nor I delights in perjured men.
Rebuke me not for that which you provoke. The virtue of your eyes must break my oath.
You nickname virtue. Vice you should have spoke. For virtue's office never breaks men's troth. Now, by my maiden honor, yet as pure as the unsullied lily, I protest. A world of torments, though I should endure, I would not yield to be your house guests. So much I hate a breaking cause to be of heavenly oaths, vowed with integrity.
Oh, you have lived in desolation here, unseen, unvisited, much to our shame.
Not so, my lord. It is not so, I swear. We have had pastimes here and pleasant games. A mess of Russians left us but of late.
How, madam? Russians?
Aye, in truth, my lord. Trim gallants, full of courtship and of state.
Madam, speak true. It is not so, my lord. My lady, to the manner of the days, in courtesy gives undeserving praise. We four indeed confronted were with four in Russian habit. Here they stayed an hour and talked apace, and in that hour, my lord, they did not bless us with one happy word. I dare not call them fools, for this I think, when they were thirsty, fools would fain have drink.
This jest is dry to me. Fair, gentle, sweet, your wit makes wise things foolish, when we greet with eyes best seeing heaven's fiery eye. By light we lose light. Your capacity is of that nature that to your huge store wise things seem foolish, and rich things but poor.
This proves you wise and rich, for in my eye.
I am a fool and full of poverty.
But that you take what doth to you belong, it were a fault to snatch words from my tongue.
Oh, I am yours, and all that I possess.
All the fool mine?
I cannot give you less.
Which of the vizards was it that you wore?
Where? When? What vizard? Why demand you this?
There then, that vizard, that superfluous case that hid the worse and showed the better face.
We are described. They'll mock us now downright.
Let us confess and turn into a jest.
Amazed, my lord? Why looks your highness sad?
Help, hold his brows, he'll swoon, why look you pale? Seasick, I think, coming from Muscovy.
Thus pours the stars down plagues for perjury. Can any face of brass hold longer out? Here stand I, lady, dart thy skill at me, bruise me with scorn, confound me with a flout. Thrust thy sharp wit quite through my ignorance. Cut me to pieces with thy keen conceit, and I will wish thee never more to dance, nor never more in Russian habit wait. Oh, never will I trust to speeches penned, nor the motion of a schoolboy's tongue, nor never come in vizard to my friend, nor woo in rhyme like a blind harper's song. Taffeta phrases, silken terms precise, three piled hyperboles, spruce affectations, figures pedantical, these summer flies have blown me full of maggot ostentation. I do forswear them, and here I protest. By this white glove, how white the hand, God knows. Henceforth my wooing mine shall be expressed in russet yeas and honest curtsy nose, an honest kersey nose. And to begin, wench, so God help me la, my love to thee is sound, sans crack or flaw.
Sans, I pray.
Yet I have a trick of the old rage, bear with me, I am sick. I leave it by degrees, soft let us see. Right, Lord have mercy on us, on those three. They are infected, in their hearts it lies. They have the plague, and caught it of your eyes. These lords are visited, you are not free. For the Lord's tokens on you do I see.
No, they are free that gave these tokens to us.
Our states are forfeit, seek not to undo us.
It is not so, for how can this be true that you stand forfeit, being those that sue?
Peace, for I will not have to do with you.
Nor shall not, for if I do as I intend.
Speak for yourselves. My wit is at an end.
Teach us, sweet madam, for our rude transgression some fair excuse.
The fairest is confession. Were not you here, but even now disguised?
Madam, I was.
And were you well advised?
I was, fair madam.
When you then were here, what did you whisper in your lady's ear?
That more than all the world I did respect her.
When she shall challenge this, you will reject her?
Upon mine honor, no.
Peace, peace. Forbear, your oath once broke, you force not to forswear.
Despise me when I break this oath of mine.
I will, and therefore keep it. Rosaline, what did the Russian whisper in your ear?
Erica?
Madam, he swore that he did not hold me dear as precious eyesight, and did value me above this world, adding thereto moreover that he would wed me, or else die my lover.
God give thee joy of him. The noble lord most honorably doth unhold his word.
What mean you, madam? By my life, my troth, I never swore this lady such an oath.
By heaven you did, and to confirm it plain, you gave me this, but take it, sir, again.
My faith, and this princess I did give, I know her by this jewel on her sleeve.
Pardon me, sir, this jewel did she wear, and Lord Biron, I thank him, is my dear. What, will you have me and your pearl again?
Neither of either. I remit both twain. I see the trick on it. Here was a consent, knowing aforehand of our merriment, to dash it like a Christmas comedy. Some carry tale, some pleaseman, some slight zany, some mumble news, some trencher knight, some dick. This smiles his cheek in years and knows the trick. To make my lady laugh when she's disposed, told our intents before, which once disclosed, the ladies did change favors, and then we, following the signs, wooed by the sight of she. Now to our perjury to add more terror, we are again forsworn in will and error. Much upon this it is, and might not you
Do Boyet?
forestall our sport to make us thus untrue. Do not you know my lady's foot is but a squire, and laugh upon the apple of her eye? And stand between her back, sir, and the fire, holding a trencher, dressing merrily? And put your page out, so you are allowed. Die when you will, a smock shall be your shroud. You leer upon me, do you? There's an eye, wounds like a leaden sword.
Full merrily hath this brave managed this career been run.
Lo, he is tilting straight. Peace, I have done.
Enter Costard.
Welcome, pure wit, thou partest a fair fray.
Simon, you're on mute.
O Lord, sir, they would know whether the three worthies shall come in or no.
What? Are there but three?
No, sir, but it is very fine, for every one presents three.
And 3 times thrice is 9.
Not so, sir, under correction, sir. I hope it is not so. You cannot beg us, sir. I can assure you, sir, we know what we know. I hope, sir, 3 times thrice, sir.
It is not 9?
Under correction, sir. We know whereuntil it doth amount.
By Jove, I always took 3 threes for 9.
Oh, Lord, sir, it were pity you should get your living by reckoning, sir.
How much is it?
Oh, Lord, sir, the parties themselves, the actors, sir, will show where until it doth amount. For mine own part, I am, as they say, but to perfect one man, in one poor man, Pompeian the Great, sir.
Art thou one of the worthies?
It pleased them to think me worthy of Pompeian the Great from mine own part. I know not the degree of the worthy, but I am to stand for him.
Go, bid them prepare.
We will turn it finely off, sir. We will take some care.
Exit.
Biron, they will shame us. Let them not approach.
We are shame-proof, my lord, and 'tis some policy to have one show worse than the king's and his company.
I say they shall not come.
Nay, my good lord, let me o'errule you now. That sport best pleases, that doth least know how. Where zeal strives to content, and the contents die in the zeal of that which it presents. Their form confounded makes most form in mirth, when great things laboring perish in their birth.
A right description of our sport, my lord.
Enter Don Adriano de Armado.
Anointed, I implore so much expense of thy royal sweet breath, and will utter a brace of words.
Converses apart with Ferdinand, and delivers him a paper.
Doth this man serve God?
Why ask you?
He speaks not like a man of God's making.
That is all one, my fair, sweet, honey monarch. For I protest the schoolmaster is exceeding fantastical, too vain. But we will put it, as they say, to fortuna de la guerra. I wish you the peace of mind, most royal compliment.
Exit.
Here is like to be good presence of worthies. He presents honor of Troy, the swain, Pompey the great, the parish curate Alexander, Armando's page, Hercules, dependent, Judas Maccabeus. And if these four worthies in their first show thrive, these four will change habits and present the other five.
Oh, there's 5 in the first show?
You are deceived, 'tis not so.
The pedant, the braggart, the hedge priest, the fool, and the boy. Abate, throw it novum, the whole world again, cannot pick out 5 such. Take each one in his vein.
The ship is under sail, and here she comes amain.
Enter Costard for Pompey.
I, Pompey, am.
You lie, you are not he.
I, Pompey, am.
Libert's head on knee.
Well said, old mocker. I must needs be friends with thee.
I, Pompey, am. Pompey, surnamed the Big.
The Great.
It is great, sir. Pompey, surnamed the Great, that often filled with targ and shield did make my foe to sweat. And travelling along this coast, I hear and come by chance, and lay my arms before the legs of this sweet lass of France. If your ladyship would say thanks, Pompey, I had done.
Great thanks, great Pompey.
'Tis not so much worth, but I hope I was perfect. I made a little fortune great.
My hat to a halfpenny. Pompey proves the best worthy.
Enter Sir Nathaniel for Alexander.
When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander. By east, west, north, south, I spread my conquering might. My Scythian plain declares that I am Alexander.
Your nose says no, you are not, for it stands to right.
Your nose smells no in this most tender-smelling night.
The conquered is dismayed. Proceed, good Alexander.
When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander.
Most true, 'tis right, you were so, Alexander.
Pompey the Great.
Your servant and Costard.
Take away the conqueror. Take away, Alexander.
Oh, sir, you have overthrown Alexander the Conqueror. You will be scraped out of the painted cloth for this. Your lion that holds his poleaxe sitting on a close stool will be given to Ajax. He will be the 9th worthy, a conqueror and afraid to speak. Run away for shame, Alexander.
Sir Nathaniel retires.
There, and shall please you a foolish mild man and honest man. Look you, and soon dashed. He is a marvellous good neighbour, faith, and a very good bowler. But for Alexander, alas, you see how 'tis, a little o'er-parted. but there are worthies a-coming who will speak their mind in some other sort.
Enter Holofernes for Judas and Moth for Hercules.
Great Hercules is presented by this imp, whose club killed Cerberus, that three-headed Canis, and when he was a babe, a child, a shrimp, thus did he strangle serpens in his manus. Quoniam he seemeth in minority, ergo I come with this apology. Keep some state in thy exit, and vanish.
Moth retires.
Judas, I am.
A Judas?
Not Iscariot, sir. Judas. I am eclipsed Maccabeus.
Judas Maccabeus clipped as plain Judas.
A kissing traitor. How art thou proved, Judas?
Judas, I am.
The more shame for you, Judas.
What mean you, sir?
To make Judas hang himself.
Begin, sir. You are my elder.
Well followed. Judas was hanged on an elder.
I will not be put out of countenance.
Because thou hast no face.
What is this?
A cittern head.
The head of a bodkin.
A death's face in a ring.
The face of an old Roman coin, scarce seen.
The pommel of Caesar's falchion.
The carved bone face on a flask?
So St. George's half cheek in a brooch.
Aye, and in a brooch of lead.
Aye, and one in the cap of a tooth drawer. And now forward, we have to put thee in the countenance.
You have put me out of countenance.
False. We have given thee faces.
But you have outfaced them all.
And thou wert a lion. We would do so.
Therefore, he is an ass. Let him go. So adieu, sweet Jude. Nay, why dost thou stay?
For the latter end of his name.
For the ass to the Jude. Give it him, Jude ass. Away.
This is not generous, not gentle, not humble.
A light for Monsieur Judas. It grows dark. He may stumble.
Holofernes retires.
Alas, poor Maccabeus, how hath he been baited?
Enter Don Adriano de Armado for Hector.
Hide thy head, Achilles. Here comes Hector in arms.
Though my mocks come home by me, I will now be merry.
Hector was put a Trojan in respect of his.
But is this Hector?
I think Hector was not so clean timbered.
His leg is too big for Hector's.
More calf, certain.
No, he is best endued in the small.
This cannot be Hector.
He's a god or a painter, for he makes faces.
The omnipotent Mars of lances the Almighty gave Hector a gift.
A gilt nutmeg.
A lemon.
Stuck with cloves?
No, cloven.
Peace! The omnipotent Mars of lances the Almighty gave Hector a gift. The heir of Ilion, a man so brave that certain he would fight, yea, from morn till night out of his pavilion. I am that flower.
That mint.
That columbine.
Sweet Lord Longaville, rein thy tongue in.
I must rather give it the rein, for it runs against Hector.
Aye, and Hector's a greyhound.
The sweet war man is dead and rotten. Sweet chucks, beat not the bones of the Baroness, eh? When he breathed, he was a man, but I will forward my device.
To the princess.
Sweet royalty, bestow me on the sense of the hearing.
Speak, brave Hector. We are much delighted.
I do adore thy sweet grace's slipper.
Loves her by the foot.
He may not be by the yard.
This Hector far surmounted Hannibal.
The party is gone, fellow Hector. She is gone. She is 2 months on her way.
What meanest thou?
Faith, unless you play the honest Trojan, the poor wench is cast away. She's quick. The child brags in her belly already. 'Tis yours.
Dost thou infamize me among potentates? Thou shalt die.
Then shall Hector be whipped for Jaquenetta that is quick by him, and hanged for Pompey that is dead by him.
Most rare Pompey.
Renowned Pompey.
Greater than great, 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 great Pompey. Pompey the huge.
Hector trembles.
Pompey is moved. More at ease, more at ease. Stir them on, stir them on.
Hector will challenge them.
Aye, if I have no man's blood in belly, then will sup a flea.
By the North Pole I do challenge thee, Baton.
I will not fight with a pole like a northern man. I'll slash, I'll do it by the sword. I bepray you, let me borrow my arms again.
Room for the incensed worthies.
I'll do it in my shirt.
Most resolute Pompey.
Master, let me take you a buttonhole lower. Do you not see that Pompey is uncasing for the combat? What mean you? You will lose your reputation.
Gentlemen and soldiers, pardon me. I will not combat in my shirt.
You may not deny it. Pompey hath made the challenge.
Sweat bloods, I both may and will.
What reason have you for it?
The naked truth of it is, I have no shirt. I go woolward for penance.
True, and it was enjoined him in Rome for want of linen, since when, I'll be sworn, he wore none but a dish clout for Jaquenettas, and that awares next his heart for a favor.
Enter Mercade. Meredith.
I am sorry, madam, for the news I bring is heavy in my tongue. The king, your father. Oh no, I'm sorry. God save you, madam.
Welcome, Mercade. But that thou interrupts our merriment.
I am sorry, madam, for the news I bring is heavy in my tongue. The king, your father.
Dead? For my life!
Even so, my tale is told.
Worthies away. The scene begins to cloud.
For my own part, I breathe free breath. I have seen the day of wrong through the little hole of discretion, and I will right myself like a soldier.
Exeunt, worthies.
How fares your majesty?
Boyet, prepare. I will away tonight.
Madam, not so. I do beseech you, stay.
Prepare, I say. I thank you, gracious lords, for all your fair endeavors and entreat, out of a new sad soul, that you vouchsafe in your rich wisdom to excuse or hide the liberal opposition of our spirits. If overly boldly we have borne ourselves in the converse of breath, your gentleness was guilty of it. Farewell, worthy lord. A heavy heart bears not a nimble tongue. Excuse me so coming too short of thanks for my great suit so easily obtained.
The extreme parts of time extremely forms all causes to the purpose of his speed, and often at the very loose decides that which long possesses could not arbitrate, and through the morning brow of progeny forbid the smiling courtesy of love, the holy suit which fain it would convince. Yet there's love's argument was first on foot, let not the cloud of sorrow justify it. For what it purposed since to wail friends lost is not by much so wholesome profitable as to rejoice at friends but newly found.
I understand you not. My griefs are doubled.
Honest, plain words best pierce the ear of grief, and by these badges understand the king. For your fair sakes have we neglected time, played foul play with our oaths. Your beauty, ladies, hath much deformed us, fashioning our humors, even to the opposed end of our intents. And what in us hath seemed ridiculous, as love is full of unbefitting strains, all wanton as a child, skipping in vain, formed by the eye, and therefore, like the eye, full of strange shapes, of habits and of forms, varying in subjects as the eye doth roll, to every varied object at its glance. What party-coded presence of loose love put on by us in your heavenly eyes? We have misbecomed our oaths and our gravities. Those heavenly eyes that look into the false suggested us to make. Therefore, ladies, our love being yours, the error that love makes is likewise yours. We to ourselves prove false, and being once false forever to be true. To those that make us both, fair ladies, you. And even that falsehood, in itself a sin, thus purifies itself and turns to grace.
We have received your letters of love, your favors, the ambassadors of love, and in our maiden council rated them at courtship pleasant jest and courtesy, as bombast as lining to the time. But more devout than this is in our respects have we not been, and therefore met your loves in their own fashion, like a merriment.
Our letters, madam, showed more than just jest.
So did our looks.
We did not quote them so.
Now, at the last minute of the hour, grant us your loves.
A time methinks too short to make a world without end bargain in. No, my lord, your grace is perjured much, full of dear guiltiness, and therefore this, if for my love, as there is no such cause, you will do aught, this shall you do for me. Your oath I will not trust, but go with speed to some forlorn and naked hermitage. Remove from all the pleasures of the world. There, stay until the 12 celestial sign have brought about the annual reckoning. If this austere, insociable life change not your offer made in heat of blood, if frost and fast, hard lodging and thin weeds nip not the gaudy blossoms of your love, but that it bear this trial and last love, then at the expiration of the year, come challenge me, and by these deserts, and by this virgin palm now kissing thine, I will be thine. Until that instant, shut my woeful self up in a mourning house, raining the tears of lamentation for the remembrance of my father's death. If this thou do deny, let our hands part, neither entitled in each other's heart.
If this or more than this I would deny to flatter up those powers of mine with rest, the sudden hand of death close up mine eye. Hence, ever then my heart is in thy breast.
But what to me, my love? But what to me? A wife?
A beard, fair health, and honesty. With threefold love, I wish you all these three.
Oh, shall I say, I thank you, gentle wife?
Not so, my lord. A 12-month and a day. I'll mark no words that smooth-faced wooers say. Come when the king doth to my lady come. Then, if I have much love, I'll give you some.
I'll serve thee true and faithfully till then.
Yet swear not, lest ye be forsworn again.
What says Maria?
At the 12 months' end, I'll change my black gown for a faithful friend.
I'll stay with patience, but the time is long.
Like are you, few taller are so young.
Studies, my lady? Mistress, look on me. Behold the window of my heart, mine eye. What humble suit attends thy answer there? Impose some service on me for thy love.
Oft have I heard of you, my lord Biron, before I saw you, and the world's large tongue proclaims you for a man replete with mocks, full of comparisons and wounding flouts, which you on all estates will execute that lie within the mercy of your wit. To weed this wormwood from your fruitful brain, and therefore to win me, if you please, without the which I am not to be won. You shall this 12-month term from day to day visit the speechless sick, and still converse with groaning wretches, and task shall be, with all the fierce endeavor of your wit, to enforce the pained impotence to smile.
To move wild laughter in the throat of death? It cannot be. It's impossible. Mirth cannot move a soul in agony.
Why, that's the way to choke a gibbing spirits whose influence is begot of that loose grace which shallow laughing hearers give to fools. A just prosperity lies in the ear of him that hears it, never in the tongue of him that makes it. Then, if sickly ears, deafened for the clamors of their own groans, will hear your idle scorns, continue then, and I will have you with that fault withal. But if they will not, throw away that spirit, and I shall find you empty of that fault. Right joyfully for your reformation.
A 12-month? Well, befall what will befall, I'll jest a 12-month in an hospital.
Aye, sweet my lord, and so I take my leave.
No, madam, we will bring you on your way.
Our wooing doth not end like an old play. Jack hath not Jill. These ladies' courtesy might well have made our sport a comedy.
Come, sir, it waits a 12 months and a day, and then 'twill end.
That's too long for a play.
Re-enter Don Adriano de Armado.
Sweet Majesty, vouchsafe me.
Hannah.
Vouchsafe me, Majesty.
Was not that Hector?
The worthy knight of Troy.
I will kiss thy royal finger and take leave. I am a votary. I have vowed to Jaconetta to hold the plough for her sweet love 3 years. But most esteemed greatness, we hear the dialogue that the two learned men have compiled in praise of the owl and the cuckoo. It should have followed in the end of our joke.
Call them forth quickly. We will do so.
Holla! Approach!
Re-enter Holofernes, Sir Nathaniel, Moth, Costard, and others.
Well done. I have song. Hold on. I have song. This side is hymns, winter, this verse, spring, the one maintained by the owl, and the other the cuckoo. Hold on. I cannot find. Oh no. She's named Alexa. She's not responding here to my playlist. I cannot find. I know we are long, but I tell you, it will be worth it. Hold on, Queen. Here we go. What the heck? Here we go. Here we go. Can you hear? When they did white and violets blue, and lady smocks all silver white, and cuckoo birds of yellow hue, to paint the meadows with delight. The cuckoo then on every tree mocks merriment, for thus he sings. Cuckoo, cuckoo, oh, the fear unpleasing too, a merry ear and this begin. When shepherds pipe on autumn's grass, and merry lights on plowmen. Stop it! This is now winter, seriously. I would like to close the show with winter. From another Don, my favorite Don, Don Quixote de la Mancha. When icicles hang by the wall, and Dick the shepherd blows his nail, and Tom bears logs in the hall, and milk comes frozen home in pail. When blood is nipped and is foul, then nightly sings the starring owl, to wit, to who a merry note, while greasy John doth kill the pot. When all aloud the wind doth blow, and coughing drowns the parson's saw, and birds sit brooding in the snow, and Marion's nose looks red and raw, when rustic crabs hissed in the bowl. The nightly sings, the stirring owl, to wit, to whom merry note, while greasy John doth hear the pot. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The words of Mercury are harsh after the songs of Apollo. You, that way, me, this way.
Excellent.
Bravo.
Thus concludes William Shakespeare's Love's Labour's Lost. We have been the Zoom players, reading stage directions, Michael Serpe, Marcade, Jacqueline and First Lord, Meredith Yannuzzi, Holofernes, Heather Curran, Costard, Simon Shannon, Moth was played by Tori Smith, Don Adriano de Armado, Jonathan Mesisca, Boyet, Kim Canfield, playing Katharine and Dull, Rebecca Werner, playing Maria and Sir Nathaniel, Marisa Gore. Rosaline was played by Erica Soto. Princess was played by Hannah Corrigan. Dumain, Chris Stewart. Playing Longaville and Forrester, Nick Nappo. Biron, Elan Sofer. And Ferdinand, James Hisey. We thank you very much for tuning in. Bid you adieu, thank you, and good night.